having a wonderful morning. It is January 29th, 2026. We're coming off of Powell. We got some of the earnings. You got a little bit more today with Apple, and then next week you're going to get a whole nother set of it. But we're waking up to a couple of surprises. You got a little bit of tech momentum, gold, silver, even copper. It is going crazy once again. We have started this whole week talking about the dollar, but there's a lot of factors at play, and now we're going to get ready for some post earnings. We'll see where the metals take us, and then you're going to have to do a whole nother set of earnings next week and see if we could actually break out of this range. So we got an exciting day ahead. I hope y'all are ready to go, but you know what we got to do here, baby. Before we chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people, one that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I am talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, the people here, the people not here, I want to give a huge special shout out. Active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country, God bless you and thank every single one of you. I pray you get a long term. Own the 2026. Make the most of it, baby. And for real, just thank you for everything, and we appreciate you, man. And don't ever take your freedom for granted. And big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities. All the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their communities run, baby. God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Send it to church! Oh, it's game time, Chad. Horn. Oh, my goodness. Happy Friday, Junior. Yo, I don't know if anybody told you it's going to be a good day today, baby. I don't know if they told you it's going to be a good day. So we got 3 minutes till the bell. I got a couple of plays for you. Meta, SAP, they got clapped. MP in the Reuters drama, if you didn't know. Reuters did lie about something. This time it wasn't the market for 1,000%. They just clapped all of the, they just clapped every single one of the critical mineral stocks. Then watch silver, gold, again, even copper today. They're saying the Chinese speculators have gotten a hands of copper as well. Watch emerging markets, anything related to the dollar, and then EEM and Starbucks. That's I had one more. Oh, Apple. Duh. They have earnings today. So we'll see where that all leads. You're going to get a couple of post-earnings continuation. I just turned off the DVR. My bad on that. I forgot I had the DVR. So you could give it a refresh. You'll be good to go. It looks like the money's rotating to Meta, because look, I got Microsoft on the low, and then Meta is going up on the high. So that one's kind of interesting. So we'll see where it leads us, my friends. We will see where it leads us. But we got about a minute. I'm going to go use that time to go to the potty. I'll be back before, I think. But let's have a good day, baby. I think it's going to be exciting. And be careful. Be careful for the silver mania. And gold. Gold's the one leading. Actually, copper, technically. Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a call, baby. Hey. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah. It's done. Daddy said it's finished. Made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it. Set apart from the start, and the heart isn't ours. It's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the ark. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god. Then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib. But for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing, they want that to bring the will. but I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now. Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Hey, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm 5
seconds.
Like swimwear, I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Fight.
All right, man. Are you guys ready for another day of every hour we freak out about the price of commodities? Should be fun. We got Musk comments right before here, too. All righty. Let's see. Oh, some of the shitty out of the monies have not popped yet. So you don't have the melt effect yet. But you're going to want to be closer to the money to capture that. And then again, they've already moved a ton. Habibi. Oh, there you go. Now they're updating it. Habibi is very, very big, man. Very, very big. Let's see what we can get. Oh yeah, some of them are really cheap. Alright, now you need a melt. Other than that, we see it started off good again. Even meta, I haven't looked at the metas yet. I've only looked at the commodities. I want to see, did the premiums on copper go up? But yeah. Oh, that's why. Feel me. There it is. Yeah, I'm just looking at the copper, gold, and silver. Again, you had a couple. Whirlpool did bad off earnings, and then you had a couple of other ones. And then SAP. And then Meta's already given. I didn't even look. Where did that last contract go? The last couple ones were good. If you kept the original one, man. Don't even get me started. Everybody in the GLD. Oh, they went down. No fucking way. So yeah, the front run was a little bit higher. So even if you're still out of the money on Meta, that sucks. They're still up a couple 100% or 120 now, but they were up like near the 200s. Where's the other ones? Yeah, SAP still doing it again. That's down 15. I have not seen the COPPA. And then Microsoft and Meta. It sucks. None of the, what's it called, though? None of the other sympathies did as well. They actually got clobbered there to start off. Why isn't my thing working? There it is. Microsoft down 10. That's I think that might be 2 standard deviations, now that I think about it. That one is going. Yeah, the copper's jacked up. Holy shit. Because again, I mean, I think it's the biggest day in a while for them. But yeah, they're higher than just the last couple weeks. That's both good and bad, depending on how you want to look at it. Alright. Where's even China? Where are even the China stocks? Microsoft removed from the top pick list. Yes, that's the biggest drop for Microsoft since 2020. So again, it doesn't really move like that. That's the shitty part. The first candles there, even then, you're already selling some of the gold and silver. They're calming down. But notice the premiums. A lot of them, the spreads, it's going to play out a little bit weirder. AKA, their spreads are so big, even on these moves, it's only going to go down if it stays down like that for an hour. But then if you're going to try to play them, you go very, very low. And then copper. Yeah, the copper spreads are just holding. Or the premium in general. That's a bigger gain. It's kind of crazy. Datadog, Crowd. Datadog and Crowd, all of those, even Net. I'm surprised. Net was holding up a little bit better, but they're all getting clapped with SAP and ServiceNow. SAP, it took that one big candle, then chilled. Again, Microsoft still dumping. Meta. So, again, if Meta is going to bounce, you'll get a better price on those post-earnings. But if it just keeps fading, kind of like we've seen on a lot of these, that's it. But yeah, I thought the ones a little bit out of the money would have held a little bit better, but I guess selling pre-earnings was good, except for the one that went in the money. Yeah, they just clobbered the Metas. Adabe, you got Iran comments. Again, watch out. That's why oil's already up today. And then NASDAQ down 0.6. Russell's in the green. Again, the Brazil emerging market stuff related to the dollar is actually going up. NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA started, went green, back to red. Who's the other one? Datadog, Datakelb. Where is MP? Again, MP, all these critical mineral ones, it was literally the fake Reuters report. And then MP and Sermal got into beef. All right, how much did you give up on Meta? Is that 3% already? But yeah, those all started off really, really low. They literally, well, started off high. They just got clobbered off the first candles. GLD, copper, ICOP. That's weird. The ICOP one didn't go up as much, and that was the one leading for the most of the week. Alrighty. UNH too. Healthcare. If we get another healthcare outperformance, that might not be good for tech. I mean, the last couple days, remember when healthcare did bad, tech did good, but if they start coming up again, that might be a different rotation. And then Tesla's on the low. Tesla had an opportunity to do good, but not so much. All right, gold and silver still. So see what they do after these candles. If it's either going to come up or not, like we said, it's either the first. It's going to be like those days where just not too long ago where you freak out every hour about it. Otherwise, if it does stay pinned, it's going to be first hour, last hour. LVS, there's a couple names moving on the high. Again, SPY's still down, and then I have not looked at Apple yet. Apple's even giving up a little bit. Yeah, Baba's ripping. And Baidu, all the China names. Again, a lot of, like I was saying, those EEMs, EWZ. I mean, Brazil is actually just straight up. But yeah, they're kind of going crazy. Let's see. Is that Baba? Yeah, Baba's still ripping. Jeez. Yeah, I think silver at one point wasn't like 121. All right, gold's trying to hold up a little bit. Bop, bop, bop. Yeah, again, there's Iranian stuff. There's some drama there. But yeah, watch the foreign place. Those are kind of moving a little bit more intraday than not. That's okay. Gold's coming back up to open. Silver. I think they just had to shake that out a little bit. But yeah, like intraday, some of them took off. Even China, bro. Starting off, you're up 2. And a couple of the other ones really started to rip here. Where is the dollar? Yeah, dollar's coming back down. So for now, in the short run, eventually gold, silver, EEM, all that, they're going to stop moving with it. But it's going to, if it does start, if you notice the dollar down, gold, silver up, might give you a little signal for now. But yeah, so silver, gold, they're just right at open though. And then let's go SAP and Meta again. SAP's coming down. See, Meta gave up like 1/3 of the gain. Not too bad. Eco weight and small cap. Oh, yeah. Damn, Russell just went 0.4 in all that. Habibi. How'd they do that? Yeah, bro. A lot of metas from yesterday are down. Again, they were holding up a little bit better in that first minute, but they all just got worse. So there's a couple of them that are green, but that front run and how much they moved ahead of earnings was very, very large. Gold soars past 5,500. Gold, Habibi. Yeah, now my metas, they're actually still up, but now they're only up 30%. They were up 100 earlier. And the spreads on gold are ridiculous. Yeah, spreads on gold haven't changed, but wait, a lot of them are up from the fuck. Are you kidding me? So yeah, bro, it's scamming. I mean, again, i.e. plays that were higher are up. So gold is sold off like what, 0.5%, 1% from the morning. You have higher bids now than what you were just doing 10 minutes ago. So yeah, you got to work through a lot of this shit. Living the vida long term. All right, watch XBI2 and biotechs. I think, yeah, those are starting to ramp up here. Meta to 750. Bro, they all went down. Bro, you were there, but like they still, I was up more on the pre-run up now. But you might still have a shot. Oh, that's this scam. I forgot. They added those new meta contracts that expire on Monday. What? Yeah, I didn't even notice that till right now. So be careful. That's why those premiums got clobbered so hard. I was wondering that. I mean, I still have the ones with a little bit more time, and that's why those are still green. But there's some contracts on there. I was like, why did those get killed so hard? It makes a little sense. Makes a little more sense. CRM, they had that contract. I got 2 metas up here. My bad. SPY just going straight down. I mean, it doesn't help Microsoft, but this might be SAP and some of those other ones. But you are getting drawn down pretty big. Just take a look at the, not like percentage-wise. I mean, NASDAQ is down 0.9, almost 1%, but the low ticker, you got a lot of names going down there. We got Honeywell towards data center business, becoming greater than 5% of revenue. Huh? Honeywell is part of the data center business. They're pumping that now. That's CEO. I think they're on a conference call. And then again, Whirlpool did not do too hot. They don't make, do they make washer dryer data centers? That'd be dope. But yeah, watch Honeywell. See how that one plays out. Oh, the peach. Bro, you know what I just noticed about the peach? It's gold. Oh, I think Bradley Frizzle's a golden man. And look at the peach. What color is a peach? Yellow? Gold? Or is it the same? A synonym? Bradley Frizzle, Peach Nation. What up, baby? How you feeling, man? Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. That's a post-earnings peach right there. On a record. Or is it copper? Is a peach copper color? Oh, my gosh. I don't know. So many minerals and metals. Copper's holding up a little better. Again, sadly, the premiums are going higher on the gold and silver. It all depends on the spread, but that shit has not moved out to start. So again, like we said, as long as it doesn't just meander there, you get more momentum, it's going to keep acting like this, but you don't want it to halt. But you won't find out today. Like I said, either first hour, last hour, or we're going to play this game every hour. But then SPY, bro, that opening is terrible. All you've done is dump off of the AM. Yeah, look at that, bro. 6,992, barely above where we were at. You moved more in the first 15 minutes than you did all of Powell. But yeah, equal weight was running up too, but now this extra dump, equal weight's coming down with it. Again, oil is still in the high too. I mean, again, I think it doesn't help. Nvidia's barely moving, which is decent, but again, Meta gave up some of that gains. That could have held you up. You have no love from Tesla, even though they did good. And then Microsoft, again, biggest drop since 2020. Apple earnings and Peach dividends. Ooh, and then bonds going straight up, even though they're down by 0.4. They're trying to catch a bid right now. Who's the other guy? SAP. Yeah, copper is the biggest winner today. I mean, obviously it's not near the all-time highs. You know, it's not 5,000, but yeah, people are talking about speculators in China going for copper, which is kind of weird that happened a little sooner and kind of more unexpected. But yeah, copper up 10% it's not a small. I think biggest day since like July, and then it's near one of the decade highs, but it's still that one was kind of the surprising one of the day. Honeywell came down. CoreWeave starting to go up in arms. See if those could catch a bid. And Intel, he's waking up. And Micron now 52-week high. So some of these are, at least you're getting somebody moving. And then watch XBI. Biotech started off good. Again, the Russell's actually very volatile today. It was at break even, up 0.4, now back to 0.17. The day after Fed down. As a lot of the times, yes, that's happened before. I mean, I don't think this one's as much as the Fed as it is kind of a wider spread between some of the earnings. You know, again, Microsoft was really bad. Meta was good, but then, you know, you could give up a lot there. That little move there was pretty decent. But they're starting to come back. If Meta could slingshot back up, it'll be fine. Just remember, Meta had a lot of those premiums up earlier. I think that was kind of the problem. That run up. And ever since 7,000, it's a harder one to break. We talked about it here this morning. You know, maybe wait for Friday or Monday to see if we could get out of the box. So again, we had these earnings, but like, this is kind of typical. We hit the high, slow down, go down, get back to the high, and then it starts slowing down again. So again, I think after Apple earnings and a couple of things, we might have enough, but you still got to like really break out of this shit. Microsoft was kind of bad. It's the stuff I was telling you guys yesterday, where like the cloud doesn't matter as much for Microsoft, as weird as that sounds, and then they still didn't do good at it, but they've been spending money. They need to get AI shit up. They need personal computing. They need some sort of AI service, because they've spent a lot, but you know, remember how bad the market punished Google for falling behind until Google was like, "What now, son? Gemini." So other than that didn't, they just played a bad hand. It wasn't too exciting. I don't think it's a death blow for them, but it definitely wasn't confidence inspiring, to say the least. Recommendation. See what we're working with. Where's gold and silver again? Well, we're just chilling, dude. Refresh. You'll get off of the DVR. When does it hit long-term pickup? Who? Microsoft? I don't know. Maybe if you ever did what Google did, but I think, man, Microsoft broke out a long time ago. But it is coming back to that. Remember we were talking about like Amazon and how Amazon didn't move? I mean, in the right environment, if you were willing to buy it higher, I don't think you have to go back down. But if you ever got to like the low 2000s or the 2020s, you know, maybe the 300s, that might be something. But it just all depends where everything's at. Remember, focus on the draft class. You'll see the opportunities arise, and different opportunities will go up or not. Bro, gold premiums are still fucking going up. It's actually kind of insane. Well, VV. Yeah, bro. I bought gold a little bit higher, like around here, and the premiums are up on the bid, like by 30-40%. So be careful. It's all fucked. I bet you know what's going to happen then? Damn it. Damn it. Oh, fuck. That means when gold goes up, the premiums are going to go down. Mark my words. You need gold to really hit a new high, or those premiums are going to get fucked. Because I'm making money on the calls on the way down. So that means when it goes up, if it don't go up fast enough, it's just going to die. Yeah, Rocco's down 5? Ugh. Lyft is going up. Oh, where's Starbucks too? They're going to have their investor day. They already gave up that 2%. Honeywell's breaking a little bit. That's at least holding. Whirlpool's chilling. So yeah, watch out for that. The gold and silver, I mean, you're paying more for it now at the bottom than you were at the literally 0.5%, 1% higher. I haven't looked at copper yet. I just know the copper is just jacked up the most off the morning. I didn't really play any of those. That's what I'm saying. Some of those gold and silver ones weren't that expensive this morning. Yeah, the coppers are going up too. Habibi. Why did they do this? SNDK. STX still going too. I forgot about that. That was one from yesterday. Yeah, STK or STX with the big air candle. That's like almost $10. Yeah, what the fuck? At 2% on a candle, 1.5. Yeah, STX with a little popper. I mean, SPY's still chilling out here. It's kind of slowing down, but Nasdaq's down 1. Copper. Russell and Dow about 0.12. Couple more biotechs. Like I said, XPI was looking pretty solid this morning. Brazil flipped. Yeah, all the emerging market ones flipped, though. Those premiums actually went down comparatively. And then gold and silver, it's on the way down. It's making money. IRES. Where's Microsoft? Microsoft's still down 10. Meta did not break out of that. Eli Lilly starting to go up here a little bit. Back to 1,000. But yeah, Eli Lilly moving up again. A lot of XPI. GLW Corning is doing that again. Oh, where's LMT? LMT had a good guy. They're up 7. Lulu or Nike more? I like Nike more. I don't wear yoga pants. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I know they're popular, but I just don't, I feel like they don't look good on my body type. So I prefer like Jordan shorts and shit. But to each his own. I like the other women's stocks though. I like some Ulta. But Ulta's expensive. Another one Buffett got in our way on. They came down here a little bit, though, after that little melt. Tesla, Cantor, bullish on Tesla, 510 target. Again, STX kind of going crazy. Google starting to dump now. That's not going to help with the index. Again, Nasdaq's already down almost 1.25. So watch out for that, my friends. AAPL look decent. You think market didn't react because Powell leaving? That was part of it, and I mean he didn't do much, and I mean just the last 3 to 4 months of the Fed, it's been kind of confusing. Not necessarily because it's the Fed's fault, but just because the data. Remember, we had the government shutdown. The economy got a little tighter towards the end of the year with the employment. People were freaking out about the jobs and the AI stuff, and then a lot of that kind of chilled out 3 months later, and then, that affected the Fed. They cut twice, but now we're kind of back here. So you mix that in with the fact he's leaving, no cut. There just really wasn't much of anything new. It was kind of returning back to that other equilibrium that we were near towards the end of last year. All right, low ticker picking up a little bit more now. Again, sadly, I think it's big tech. Thank God you have NVIDIA holding. Today would be a lot uglier without it. Gold and silver, they're still holding. They're not really, literally looks like NVIDIA. But yeah, you have a majority of the names going down. I'll get you guys a checkup here in a little bit, though. But it feels like you got big tech, and then just on, at least as far as the low ticker is concerned, you have a pretty good velocity coming down right now. Yeah, and oil's up 5. That's not... I don't know how I feel about that one. 4.6, $66 on futures. Habibi. Factory orders 2.7. Estimate was 1.6. Jeez. So again, anything in durable goods 5.3 versus 5.3. But yeah, once again, this manufacturing industrial shit, that's been through the roof. That's even from last year too. But as far as economic data, that evidence of the manufacturing boom is actually showing up there. But yeah, very strong data. See what the bonds do. SPY going down again. I think you got still pretty big hangover from Microsoft. Now you got Google coming down. Where are we levels-wise? So yeah, 6927. Bro, you've almost sold off 100 points to start off. At least from yesterday you did. So yeah, you might be filling this gap here. You're 10 points away from filling the gap from what? Was that Monday? Or was that last Friday? No, Monday. Well, yeah, that's going straight down. Again, Google's not helping. It's only 2%, but add that to 10% Microsoft and everything else is not fun. All right, the gold bids are starting to come down. Finally. DTH. Yeah, MO, you didn't have any good you didn't really have any good consumer earnings today. Except maybe Cat and LMT. Could be back to red Thursdays. But also, too, this is a little bit of the post-earnings effect. Give it a... We'll find out by Euro close. I mean, it doesn't help that the dollar's still down. And I don't know, maybe today would be the first day we react to gold and silver. It's giving it up. Like I'm saying, 1% now. My premiums are still up, sadly, but they're now like 20% instead of being up 60% on the bid. So, yeah, they're starting to come down. But, again, I mean, it's pretty nasty with Microsoft and Google now. And then Meta has given up about a third of that gain from the morning. But now you're rotating a little bit to the more healthcare and biotechs. They're barely holding on. Healthcare is barely holding on. Biotechs are fine. Mac. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's even dumping now too. And again, you just had good data. I mean, bonds are already down, but I was figuring you get some reaction. And then Nvidia too. Remember, Nvidia was just only down by a quarter. Literally, Nvidia and gold kind of go hand in hand today. They have zero connection, but it's there. Yeah, VIX up to 18. Actually, I don't know. So this time, it's the first time that you've had the VIX go up with gold and silver. Remember, we were talking about it yesterday. I have a chart of it. But, you know, gold volatility was way higher than stock volatility. That was the first time that's happened since fucking 08. Or at least the biggest margin of that. But yeah, you got that. That was a big move. This is not small. So, like, literally, you have straight up dropped, like, about 100 points now. You're like 60, and then even from yesterday, it's been a good 80, 90. But like you're about to fill that gap. You're a couple points away, 3-4 more points. You just gave up the whole week in about 30 minutes, 34 minutes. So let me get you a checkup. I want to say it's all red. Dow Jones, 18 green, 12 in the red. It's actually not that bad. Again, Salesforce, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, that's bringing you down even on the Dow. NASDAQ only 33 green, and then 68 in the red, and then SPY, 305 green, 195 in the red. So this is actually, unfortunately, an earnings effect. I know the low ticker looks very active. It's almost maxed out, but straight up, you have 300 names in the green right now. So this is just a bigger set of tech names that's kind of killing everybody. And then again, a lot of these are down a shit ton on the year. Unfortunately. It is. It's the mega cap drawdown for sure. So this doesn't, I don't think this really indicates it. I think a little bit of freak out with the gold and silver, a little excitement, but again, I think Tesla, Google, Microsoft, that's what it, again, 300 names are green on the SPY. That's kind of fucked up. And I'm saying the Dow wasn't that bad, and then the NASDAQ does have a little bit more weight on it. So again, NASDAQ's down 1.6, SPY's down 0.7, but yeah, this isn't the worst. Go Intel, yalla habibi, yalla, you go, keep going habibi. Starbucks expects international segment margin to exceed 20% in 2028 from 13% after China joint venture. Check Starbucks. Again, that's from the Investor Day stuff. Yeah, rotate over retreat. It's just big on the tech. Again, Microsoft, make no mistake, Microsoft's massive. And then, like I'm saying, if you had Meta holding up a little bit better, even though Meta is not bad, it's not like you didn't open up with Meta going up. You opened up with Meta going down. And then you got Google down 2, you got Nvidia down 1, and you have Tesla down 1.5. I mean, that's just a lot of money. But overall, it's not like everyone's sold off. That SPY kind of shows you the safety of the companies that did do good. Like I say, there's some bad consumer names in the morning, but yeah, you got Lockheed Martin up 7. You got Royal Caribbean up 15. These are the leaders. IBM. So that was like kind of like Meta 2. IBM did good, but then kind of sold here a little in the morning. Well, I wouldn't say it's really risk off. I think it's risk off in 5 names. So literally, you're leaning a little bit heavier on the SPY. And then solar is actually like a couple energy names are getting clapped while some are getting up. So some kind of tied closer to metals are not doing good, and then anything related to oil is actually doing pretty good. Again, oil's up 5 too. That's the other part. And then biotechs, they got their own little pocket. Elijah. I think your long term might be up. I mean, Intel's fighting today, so that'll help you out. But I don't know where values and staples are. I mean, damn, XLP's at break even. Yeah, SPY 497, 493. That's what it feels like. Feels good. Copper. Silver and gold taking another leg lower. There's clap because the Dow's not doing that bad. It's down 0.7, but it's 13. It just depends what you got in there. So like a lot of Microsoft, Salesforce, Amazon, UNH flip, that'll affect it a little bit after holding up. Nvidia, Visa, Boeing, Nike, Home Depot, Cisco, and J&J. Those are the ones that are red. I'd say half of the Dow that's down is tech. XLF. Yeah, banks are at 0.32 or 0.5. That's not too bad. Honeywell's still climbing. Again, I like those data center comments. Ultra short gold on the high. Yeah, so gold, let me see the premiums. Gold just gave up 2% on the open. My premiums are coming back to break even. It's fucking stupid. So yeah, I'm kind of scared for it to go up though now if it doesn't melt. Even copper too, but the coppers are still up a fuck ton more. Microsoft has its first couple of green candles in a minute, at least since the opening. And then China coming down. Bonds are trying to go up. SPY's still near the low, though, so watch out. Yeah, Baba even gave it up. All those foreign plays. Baba Baidu sold off 2% real quick. I mean, it's been 39 minutes, but a lot has happened. You spent first 5-10 minutes on some outperforming Google, and Google was even doing decent, but then Microsoft was just down from the get-go, and that keeps getting washed. Meta kind of stopped moving. Gold and silver still on the low. Yeah, they just literally gave up 2. All right, you fill the gap. 698. Actually, not yet. You're getting there. You're like right there. 4 more points. 4 more points. You fill Monday, and then if it really gets bad, 68.73 is in the cards. So this is that first gap, but then you're going to go back to last Wednesday. I guess if it gets really bad, you go back 2 more Wednesdays. But that would be about 200 points. You're going to need a Reuters article for that. And then remember, we still have earnings after the bell. All right, GLD. Yeah, bro, those still went up. Yeah, I don't like those. Defense thing. LMT had a really good earnings. Valero, Canada, Venezuela barrels to widen heavy oil discount. More banks, JP Morgan starting to break out here a little bit. And then watch if Meta gets out there. Google stop dying for 5 minutes. I think all of big tech. That's it, but you haven't filled the gap yet, believe it or not. So I don't know if that's going to be good or not. So again, it stopped with the every 3, 4, 5 minutes you were declining. This has been your first little 10-minute pocket of not moving down, but you're like right at the gap fill from Monday. Bitcoin, I don't know the price of Bitcoin actually. 85 on the futures. It sucks because people were thinking with the gold it'd go up a little bit, but yeah. Bitcoin was like this in November. And then is that even going back to... Hold on. Isn't that the election price? Yeah, give or take. 80,000. All right, low tickers getting active again. You got Oracle, AMD, uranium, and then Asian stocks on the low. Actually, a lot of those uranium stocks are flushing. They're down a decent amount. I forgot about that. You had the fucking Reuters thing that killed a lot of those. But yeah, low ticker just gassed up. It's almost fully maxed out here. So either this will be the gap fill or maybe we bottom out for a little bit. But yeah, you're getting activity once again. This time it's not as much like the big tech, but then Meta's coming down. Kimberly. I'm surprised they even went down on today. They usually like the red days. Yeah, that's at 98. So it's a little bit below. I got 2 more days. Antonio Brown, stop trying to be content creators. We need electricians. I agree. Electricians go hard, bro. They were trying to say you guys die early too. They were hating on the electricians. Yeah, I mean, again, Bitcoin is still down a decent amount, but everything kind of moved. Commodity, energy, anything except the fucking barrel of crude oil today kind of got clobbered. Again, even considering gold and silver is fine, but they just lost 2.5% in about 45 minutes. So yeah, a lot of these just got wrecked. You got more Starbucks comments? Yeah, they didn't. I mean, coffee. Yeah, EM stocks, currencies head lower as Microsoft fuels AI concerns. Next level is 69.18, which you just fucking broke through. Then the bad one is 68.75. If you're a real bear, 67.95. But I think if it keeps going like this and we don't get any relief, 68.74, that'd be like another, what, 50 points, I believe? Almost 40. But yeah, they're going to try to chalk this up based on these articles coming out right now. I think they're trying to say AI fears once again with Microsoft, even though Meta did very well. So that'll hold until Apple. This feels just really post-earnings, sadly. That's the unfortunate part. Yeah, keep in mind, Apple's still in the green. That's going to hold you on. They're not ready to... Until they're ready to move out of Apple and really dump some of the other staples and biotechs, I don't think this is like... again, you could get a little freaked out after gold and silver kind of blow off top like that, especially if people start to get concerned. But I think it's post earnings. Starbucks. Gold is now going red. Gold just gave up 2.5. Silver, and then copper's still up 5 or 6. So that sadly is the one holding. That one I don't think anybody saw coming. I don't think the dollar is up, is it? Unless it flipped. Oh shit, it did. So that just moved a fucking 0.25% almost. Like I was saying, even on the short term, you might be able to attach that to gold and silver. You're getting oil headlines from Venezuela, like Chevron and what's it called? The other one, Valero. Bitcoin drops for the first time below 86,000 since December 19th. Okay, now copper is starting to dump a little bit. Living the vida long time. Whoever got that stuck in my head, it's terrible. Bonds are about to go green too. So take note, even with the dollar. So some of the risk off is kind of showing with this. But you need everything else to go a little bit more. But yeah, but that's what I was saying before. None of this shit was really moving. But if the dollar and bonds go vertical off of it, people might freak out a little harder. Because you got the NASDAQ down 1.7 right now. But like I said, I mean, keep in mind, getting ready for Friday and Monday. And then earnings. So, but that, I mean, again, this has been a wild 45 minutes. 47 minutes to be exact. Yeah, dollar, dude, that climbed really quickly. Again, you even had the emerging markets and some of those other ones dump way before. All retreat, no rotation. I don't think that's true. Again, the Dow and the SPY are still there. It's just you're getting a way outsized effect from your big dogs. Actually, 2 more names went green on the Dow. So you have 19 names green on the Dow right now. I think SPY's still above 300. Yep, 300 names green on the SPY. So no, it just this right here was probably your more fearful move right there, but you still got look at these names on the high ticker, you'll see it. You said it, I know, bro. I've been humming. Living the vida lata. Shine Bomb, we agreed both teams will work together. We continue to make progress on bilateral. Call with Trump was productive. We're at an all-time high. Bro, I'm more shocked by gold and silver. But then again, copper. That was a little surprising. Yeah, they dumped the shit out of this. But I guess I could be a little bit bothered if the premiums got washed, but they didn't. Actually, I'm back to break even now. So it took top ticking and then 2% to go to break even, which is insane. So how does this affect the cost of my grill? I'm still kind of... What is the spot price? Silver. Literally, dude, U.S. Open, technically, I think spot price is still green right now. Believe it or not. Yeah, you're back to 113 on spot. 53, 43 on gold. I tried it on yesterday, too. I clean it. because my girlfriend was shocked at what it was. But then it's like when I stepped on it, bro, I really fucked it up. So it's like smaller than it should be. And then that's why it doesn't fit as good. It only fits on like half of my teeth now. It's kind of sad. But yeah. And then I found them online, dude. People are still selling them for like, but they're only selling like 10 karat and 14 karat. I think a 10 and 14 karat. They were going for like 2 to 3 grand. Yeah, y'all playing with me, bro. I found some money. I didn't think we were holding up like that. Another warship in the Middle East. So watch if oil takes a stick off that. Is that why you're getting the dollar moving? But no, oil dropped. Oil even dropped 1 or 2%. See, but take note. That's what I was saying. With the dollar and bonds, if fucking oil even goes down, that one's not good. So see, you want to look for a real risk off. Or if this SPY, I mean, that's why that 6,700, if it really was a retreat, you would probably see everything sell off. Because again, you already got gold and silver doing it. The Energy Department told Reuters in a statement after it was published that it was false. Unnamed sources are misinformed or deliberately misleading. Statement did not elaborate on what errors they found. Reuters response. Dude, Reuters is terrible. Again, I really thought they were going to lie about the market, but they chose the industry instead. I thought that was pretty interesting. But I told you guys like a week or so. I think that's what you got. Who's worse, Reuters or Don Lemon? I think Reuters, because I don't even think Don Lemon knows how to trade an option. So motherfuckers at Reuters, once they learned how to use a daily, they were like, yo, if we lie and trade a daily, we can make a lot of money and then blame it on Donald Trump and his son. And then they got away with that for like a full ass year, bro. And then prior, they're like, yo, what if we potentially start World War III and then lie about missiles in Poland? And then they I don't even know how much they made off that one, but like, yeah, I think Don Lemon, he thinks option is his contract with CNN, trying to get paid by Elon or something. But Don, I don't know, Don just wants to go harass you at church. Don's a little bit more of a demon, but yeah, Reuters is just, they're like straight up market manipulators. Like, they will lie to your face if they have a spy call, bro. And then once somebody else gets a bag, they're like, wait a minute, we should do that, but with a lie. You know he listening. I pray for you, Don. Don. I never realized, bro, until I saw homeboy raid a fucking church, I never understood why he didn't like me. I thought he just wanted to be me, even though he got a fucking $40 million CNN contract. But I realized, I think he's like a real like demon, bro. Like, I think he really gets, he's one of them people who get real bothered by the Jesus. So yeah, I think that's how we got here. The government shutdown is not going to happen. People were bringing it up because of the all of the stuff in Minnesota and the all the DHS stuff. But Tom Holman was up there this morning, and then some more videos came out with your guys' revolutionary leader, Alex Preddy. It was kind of bad, but people are kind of calming down off of it and, you know, walking that back. But like I said it the other day, you guys all had that in the morning. I don't think it would be good optics for the Democrats in the midterms because right now we're pretty avoidant of the shutdown. We're getting really close to it, to not having to deal with it. But if you really do shut it over border funding after some of these issues, I mean, it's going to be quite dramatic considering it's only happened in one state so far, and it's been pretty intense. But yeah, so the odds shot up earlier in the week after the killing of Mr. Preddy, but then they came down after all of this. Last couple days and after the Holman thing. Valero talking Venezuelan oil. More biotechs, again, XBI, Myrna. I don't know, watch dollar and bonds, otherwise gold and silver or Meta, Google, and then fucking Intel's coming up, so we'll take it. Google is introducing Google Cloud Vertex for .NET. What the fuck? Is that good for... I don't think that's good for Microsoft. And then check Net and SAP and all those guys too. All right, man. You filled the first gap and then chilling a little bit. Dollar climbing again. That's the part I don't like. If dollar goes up, bonds catch a bid, and oil goes down, that's not pretty. Well, not you know, and silver is dropping too, but I think that's because of the dollar now. The Dems already lost the midterms? No, not at all. Not at all. That's just because Donald Trump is not incorrect when he says, like, the phenomena of politics. Don't underestimate how the pendulum swings. Because, like, yeah, just usually the incumbent loses. So, yeah, even fucking Biden lost. He didn't lose as many, but he still lost during all of that. But, yeah, it actually happens. I think maybe once it never happened. Maybe Reagan, but I think it does happen all the time. Oh, excuse me. Yes, and Republicans are notoriously lazy in midterms. GLL, that's the gold short. Gold's getting dumped on now. Again, premiums came back, took 2% to go back to break even. Now they're going to start going whoop. Silver below 100 on spot or on futures or SLV. Okay, they're still above 110. Gold's they're both negative now on the day. So they weren't, again, futures and like the asset prices, the paper was going down, but now spot prices are red now too. Man, I got my Austin Powers outfit and everything. I thought we were going to be gold member today. Well, still early, but first hour, you just got rid of the whole Asian session. Over 300 since open is insane. But again, 300 overnight is insane as well, too. But yeah, just watch out for this part. So SPY's coming down now. Again, if you really want risk off, you're going to need everything to come down. So like I said, you still got 300 names that could sell off. But look at the dollar, bonds, oil, and now tie that into the gold and silver. Now you could, anything from here on gold and silver, that starts, it says gold's down 3.8, but it's actually just going negative now. But that little candle right there just brought it down another 0.5%, 1%. Still above 5K. I don't think we're down on the shutdown. It's literally, so like 30 minutes ago, they're trying to pump the idea of AI fears again. You guys remember end of last year when Oracle, and there was a couple of earnings, but pretty much they're saying Microsoft equals AI fear. That's the bit. Again, in Microsoft, this is even before this last hour, Microsoft opened with their biggest decline since 2020. So that now mixed in with a couple of other tech names. Google started to drop and a few others. And then all of the mania, gold, silver, dollar, bonds, all of that unwinding. I mean, that just left you in this 2% down day, 1.7. SPY's only down 0.9. Dow's only down 0.3. Russell 0.5. So it's still pretty lopsided, but you could kind of see it start to form. Like I'm saying, if dollar, bonds, oil, and a couple of other things go down, maybe another 100 SPY names, you'll get a little risk off. Right now, this is risk off in AI, but that's kind of it, and it's just a lot larger. Natural gas storage, minus 242. Estimate was minus 238. This is a crazy, I mean, every day, man. This last 2 weeks, last even week alone on gold and silver, even this fucking morning, bro. To go up $300-400 overnight and then sell it off in an hour. This is fat. With copper up 10%. Now, I think copper's still green. Yeah, copper's the only one in the green left, but shit. All of this is fucking insane. But then it's very both separate to what's going on the SPY NASDAQ, but then the bonds and dollar now are kind of trying to butt their head into it. But yeah, that AI sky is falling. I mean, again, it's way easier to say that with Microsoft down 10%. We hit a 2% on the SPY the other day, didn't we? Or no, on the NASDAQ. Been a long time. Should have sold you with that adult beat to sell to. Oh, what you say? A heavy trade. Oh, first you don't buy the dip. You get dusted off and save again. You get dusted off and save again. Save again. Oh. The rare earth piece that just hit one segment of the market. They made a killing though. I'm sure. What the fuck you mean silver's down 4.5% today? What the fuck? Bro, I swear silver was up 7% or 4 literally. Spot silver down 4.3, 4.5 right now. Habibi, what do you guys, this is a Lutnick to take over commerce venture arm, recruiting from banks and PE firms for projects. Literally, it's all the Chinese bringing that shit up. And now it's fucking America said, sell it. Or London said, we need to keep it lower because we don't have any gold. What? Again, Myrna's ripping. Watch it, those biotechs start taking off. Most of them are holding, but they're at least holding green. Nat gas extends prices after lower storage. It's moving a little bit. I don't know. Bitcoin was just Bitcoining away. People were real. Dude, gold went up $300 overnight. Motherfucker said, Bitcoin's dead. It died. So, but I don't think, I mean, Bitcoin's still up a tremendous amount in that same period, but people were really getting hyped on, they were grave dancing on Bitcoin. But I'm like, this guy, Bitcoin is up like 80,000% or something still. But yeah, they're all going up. Wait till the dollar and bonds stop. Like I'm saying, these mixed with oil, and then now that silver and gold are red. But you're getting a couple signs of risk off here. It just sucks. You have 300 names in the green. That's what I'm saying. It's not full retreat just yet. There you go. 16 on the green on the Dow. 10 more names went negative on the NASDAQ. SPY, 30 names. You're at 270. Might stop once we get more red than green. Besant tweeted him and Nikki. I was right. He's a barb. Well, there you go, bro. I'm sure he was. The CZ and Binance rumors? No. What do you got for me? Again, Valero, Venezuela comments higher. Dollar chilling out. So see, it's pretty much a FTX. Well, I think they at least own Bitcoin, right? But I don't think they'll get. I don't think CZ's. I don't think he has an ugly girlfriend who's gonna get into Twitter beef and then break everything. Because like nobody would have found out about FTX if that happened. If that didn't happen. I laugh at it because it's so sad, but that is the reality of what occurred. If SpongeBob did not, fucking Squidward did not engage in Twitter beef over whatever it was, there would have been zero. Nobody would have ever knew. Gold just dropped the combined market cap of Bitcoin and Ethereum. In 1 fucking hour? Come on. How did those fucking puts do then? Because that was big enough where you could have made money on a jacked up put. Oh my Are you kidding me? You're up 5% on the day if you bought them in the morning. Oh, what? Yeah, you made like 200, 300%. Let me see the short terms. Oh, you could have 1,000%ed a put, low key. Today was the day for the puts, surprisingly. I mean, half of the time I was up on the call. The call, I'm finally... the spread's high, but no, I'm down on the bid. They dropped my bid. They gave me a bid the whole fucking time. I was loving it. Not even 30 minutes. Yeah, right? Right here. But no, those puts are climbing from the morning, even when the call premiums are staying up. Okay, SPY going, and then bonds are fucking catching a bid. Bonds just recovered 0.5%. I mean, again, you are post-Powell, too. I wonder how Besant feels about this. The dollar stopped climbing. Again, watch oil, too. Oil's even starting to look like some of them, but unfortunately, bro, Google, Meta, Microsoft, that's not helping. But 30 more names went red on the NASDAQ, and then even on the SPY, too. 10 on the NASDAQ, 30 on the SPY. Gold, I think it could even be the dollar, but no, we just did a fucking gap in crap. And then I think AI fears. I mean, again, if there really was fear, you would sell off the fucking gold and silver, but that's what I'm saying. I need a little bit more to freak out. If you want me to really go team risk off, I need to see that SPY fucking go 490 in the red. I really do. Again, I need at least the Dow down 1%. SPY went 1%, and Russell's trying to go there, but like everything just flipped risk off. Again, within like 30 minutes, or like maybe 15, 20, they're pushing the Microsoft AI narrative, saying that AI fears. But then again, I don't think Apple is getting touched in any of this. Yeah, Apple's barely red, and that's going to be our big earnings today after the bell. Let Shinebot comments again. At first, you don't sell gold. You get dusted off and try again. Oh, Trump is going to have a cabinet meeting? Nice. I wonder how many wars he ended. Yeah, PG's going up. Okay, where does Kimberly? Come on, Kimberly. That's what I say. Why would Kimberly go down if we go risk off? Kimberly. Come on. Tap, I would want it below like 46 or 45. But, and then when's the X divvy? But otherwise, I might bounce between them and, yeah. We got a little bit of time between like the dividends and letting things move, but I'm gonna probably bounce between them and Kimberly. I'm not gonna lie to you though. I kind of want to grab a tech stock. Is that weird? But then again, none of them. There's only one or two at good deals, but there's one that I want, sadly. But I don't think we could afford it. I think we can, but I think it'd just be better to wait. But then again, last time I did that, I was like a couple dollars off from NVIDIA. Is it a mega cap? Kinda. It's big. It's big. And it's something everybody knows about. But I just don't know if I want to deal with that. Like, you guys don't have the same, like, train of thought. Like, you get what I'm like, I don't know. Like, dude, I just don't want to deal with that shit. Like, you know, do you know how easy it is in fucking value? Y'all don't get it, man. Chad, they don't feel, dog. You guys don't feel, bro. It's so easy in value, good quality land. Y'all don't get it. Look at this shit. This shit just sold off. You be like, oh, damn, Kimberly is fucking down 0.1%. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just think it's easy, bro. RDW, Department of War feature. Wasn't fucking, who was lying? Wasn't Reuters lying on them or Sermo? VZ, Canag, a couple value plays are going up, and then China's still dumping. Why Verizon's kind of rampant, and AT&T and communications. And then KDP, they got clocked yesterday. They're coming up. But yeah, China just dumped 3%. Easy when you have a long-term horizon. I agree. But like, I like peace. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with like 30. You guys saw Chipotle, Sweet Greens. You have to go through like, even NVO. You got to go through like 20, 30% drawdowns potentially, maybe more. But then again, they come up pretty quick. But it's like, yeah, it's very easy knowing you're going to get solid value, especially when gold is at $5,300. So do you guys want to have a talk? I could make a video about it if you guys would like. I might have to. Because last time there was a big monetary shift, I made a video and you all got rich off of inflation. If you listened. But, yeah, that's it. First, you don't succeed. You get dusted off in long term again. You get dusted off long term again. Learn again. You don't want to throw it all away. If you lose on the first trade, what about the next trade? Oh. So yeah. But I don't know. Let me go to the bathroom and let's have you guys. Would you guys like to have a broader monetary policy talk? Or macroeconomics, maybe? All the staples are going up, though. So look, right where I'm telling you I need signs of risk on, a lot of these little red staples are starting to climb right now. Go Conagra, Pepsi, KDP, Kimberly, P&G, J&J. Yeah, they're all starting to do a little, some more than others, but some are like fucking launching. All right, well, let me go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. God bless America. Woo! Soon. Again, you're going to get Trump here in a little, too.
Anurag Rana is our technology analyst, and he covers all things big tech. Anurag, Apple, there's a lot of good talk, a lot of good feedback on the latest Apple iPhone. I think it's the 17. Are we talking about the 17? Yeah, I think it's the 17. I've lost track of the numbers here. But that is, once again, the driver for Apple, even as a lot of the questions remain on its AI strategy.
Yeah, I think, tonight we already have a glimpse that these guys are going to do okay in terms of total revenue growth for the first time for the iPhone. I think it's going to be in double digits. And there is a bit of strength, as you said, on the iPhone 17 family of products. But there's also a trickle-down impact from what they could not fulfill in the prior quarter, and that's going to bleed in. So that's going to be all good. I think, the big question right now is whether the rising memory prices are going to have the impact on their margins, and when does that show up in their numbers, and whether they're going to offset that with any price increases. So that's, I think, probably the most important thing as we look at Apple today.
Explain to us just again where we are right now from an Apple perspective as it relates to AI. What is their strategy? How are they executing on it?
In our view, I think this is probably the best strategy. Let the world go out and fight who has the best model, then they're going to go out and rent that model. Because imagine this, at this point, Microsoft, and then we have talked about this, I think for about 6 months now, is going to spend somewhere north of 40% of their sales into CapEx. For Apple, that number is 3%. So they don't have to go out and spend hundreds of billions of dollars to figure out where to get the next model. Whoever is the one, they're going to go out and use it and put it in their operating system and make it smarter. And the question is, well, why can't you do it in-house? And our answer is, why do they have to do it in-house? They didn't do that for search. Whoever has the best search product, they just use it and they will pay the money, or somebody will pay them to do it. So from our side, we like it financially. I think it is the right thing to do. And we'll, I think this year, that would be one of the bigger differentiator for Apple compared to all the rest of the large tech companies.
Do we know how much Apple is paying to be able to embed Gemini into its software?
Yeah, I think Mark Gurman mentioned about $1 billion a year, something like that. Now, again, they have not disclosed that number, but that's not just the only thing. That's just probably the licensing fee. Then they're going to probably use Google's data centers to host those, transactions or those queries at that point. So it will have an impact on their operating expenses. But frankly speaking, for a company that generates, let's say, $400 billion in revenue, that's nothing. I mean, compared to if you have to go out and spend $100 billion and you don't even know whether that model will be good enough down the road or not.
They have plenty of cash to use.
Yeah, exactly. Anurag, Microsoft here. I mean, it's north of a $3 trillion market cap company. Puts up 38% cloud revenue growth. Stock down 12%. What's going on?
Yeah, I think that's really what you're saying is, last quarter, the growth rate of Azure was 38 or 39. This quarter was 38. They've guided to 37 to 38, and that's not good enough for investors. So I think that's really what it is. And they said it on the call that if they allocated all the GPUs to Azure, they would have grown north of 40%. What's happening right now within Microsoft is the cloud capacity that they have built, and they've done a very good job about it in the last 12 months. They're allocating it differently, whether it's
Thank you. Spot gold down over 5%. 5,100. What the fuck? Oh, that was fun. Well, I still think it's a good day. I'm surprised the premiums. I mean, they're giving me my bid back and forth, but holy shit, dude. Holy shit. But Chad, are you guys ready? Are y'all ready for this? Bow now, down, down, down. Down, now, down. Everybody long term. So I made a tweet yesterday. And let me give you my disclaimer before I talk about this. None of this is a recommendation. Option trading stock market is certainly risky. You can lose all, if not most, of your financial investment. Please consult with a financial advisor. Educational purposes only. So that being said, I am a biased individual. Do you know that? I would argue I'm just like you, brother. I'm just like you. I'm a biased individual. So what I'm going to share with you does contain some of my bias. And thankfully, I'd like to feel I've been transparent about it, because if you have watched me for several years, this shouldn't surprise you too much, and you may have heard me utter something of similar nature. So here's the deal. I am telling you this because I don't know what you see on a day-to-day basis, and at some point you usually encounter what I talk about. That's just kind of what happens. I mean, we cover so much, and I live and breathe this shit. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But here's the deal. I don't want you to be misled. Now, do I know what's going to happen? I do not. Is it going to happen right away? Probably not. But it did get me thinking. And there is stuff that I think I'm telling you this because you should be prepared to not be propagandized. Let alone, I want you to think a little bit more critically. Because it's a kind of an interesting nature how it's played out. So, this is what I tweeted, and I'll show it to you. 2021, 2020, government prints a massive amount of money. More money in 4 years than the last couple of decades combined. You make a video titled within a month, "Let's get rich off of inflation." That happened. Inflation reaches 9%, asset prices, services, goods go up. Fed keeps rates at zero because a thing called transitory. What does the dollar do? This is the key. The dollar strengthens the most in years. Fast forward till today, similar amount of money printing. The big beautiful bill, may do a video on that one too. Different policy, but lots of money. Only paper assets moving higher, while gold and silver goes parabolic. Fed keeps rates higher for longer because inflation at 1.8 is scarier than 9%. Dollar starts crashing to multi-year lows. Swiss franc, the paper safe haven of the world, breaks out. I don't know, do you guys know this? Out of all the currencies, the Swiss franc is actually going insane. Fun fact. SPY going lower, gold going low, everything going, even Apple starting to get hit. It all clicks. So here's the question. If the dollar got stronger last time there was inflation, the dollar weakness today means we are heading towards... Do you know? Well, this is the irony of it all. So look at what I'm talking about. I would like to show you guys. So look, 2020 dollar declines, but this was because of COVID. Remember, dollar skyrocketed, then they cut rates to 0, right? They haven't printed all the money. This was just the first half of the Donald Trump. And then you get Joe Biden. Remember, by 2020, and then Joe Biden's like, yo, run it up again. So both of them printed a fuck ton of money, right? What, do you guys see what the dollar did? It was inflation, but the dollar was strengthening during all of that inflation. Remember, it was global. Everybody kind of got affected by it. So, well, this is why I'm telling you. I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm biased, but the whole point is that everybody keeps telling you the currency is going to debase. I've heard people say gold and silver means that you're going to get a German-style inflation, all sorts of things. But ironically enough, I kind of believe that you're more likely to get deflation than hyperinflation. Again, a lot of people keep asking, why should the Fed cut rates? Because they might have just grinded everything to a halt. Again, if the Fed makes a mistake, them causing deflation is not atypical. But even more so, I just think a lot of people are forgetting the big thing. Last time you had massive inflation, did your dollar go down? Again, living in America, you had inflation, but you could have went anywhere around the world and you would have been king of the castle. But literally, we're talking AI, AGI, and you're telling me hyperinflation? I don't buy it. But like I'm telling you, are you guys all aware that last time that you had actual inflation at a ridiculous amount more than the last 30 to 40 years, your dollar skyrocketed? When did the dollar go down and you had inflation? That's the funny part. Again, even 2008, the dollar ripped. Oh, they don't feel me. Again, people were worried about inflation, then it led to deflation. So, do you see what I'm saying? I don't know what's going to happen. But I want you to challenge the idea a little bit before you go to everything's getting debased. You're going to have wheelbarrows full of money, the dollar weakness. But, I mean, usually dollar weakness and deflation, and at least how it shows up and materializes, it's usually deflationary. And then vice versa. The dollar strengthening is usually inflationary. Again, you're not just the United States, you're global. Like, that's what you got to really think about. So then that's what happened in 2021. But yeah, it's very fat. And then again, tie in the yen. Because what happens if come on, you guys. What happens if the dollar dies? What's going to happen to Japan? And don't think bad things, but literally their currency is going to strengthen. Like, just kind of like what you saw the other day. So I thought this was fascinating. And it did kind of, because I was seeing a lot, again, especially after last night, the gold, the silver moves. You got people saying, gold, it's dollar debasement, sell America, and getting worried about inflation. But I just don't forget about that little bitch called deflation. Especially, it's not like deflation is, tied into everything. AI, all the other stuff we're dealing with. Damn, eco weight below 8,000. 68.75. You hit the second level, big dog. So that was the second level I was telling you about there. Yeah, you hit it. Okay, if it's really going to get ugly, we're going to drop about 125 points. 67. But yeah, that was the last like gap. You just gave up like a week and a half in about an hour and a half, give or take. Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I would be aware of the narrative. That's what I'm saying. I would be very, very aware of the narrative. And like, because like I'm telling you, I mean, I was doing the same shit. I was telling you guys these videos, making them early, but it's just like, I don't know where this fucking idea came from. Why everybody is ignoring what happened. Like, again, your dollar skyrocketed when you had inflation. When houses were doubling, when GPUs, goods and services, you name it. It's not like your dollar went down. That's your purchasing power went down. Sure, you paid more, and then there was a lot of societal perceptional effects. But the UUP, the dollar decline, the dollar crate, that didn't go down. That's why I think it's very fascinating how many people I've seen jump towards, well, it's going to be inflation. But I think you have a lot of arrows that are saying deflation. Rather than inflation. Because again, the only thing that's moved up is paper. Again, this year, it's not like, again, and gold, but it's not like houses went up. It's not like you're getting major price increases in a lot of other places. And now just in this last month, a lot of other currencies just got some pretty good purchasing power. Think about it. Their currencies are strengthened. Globally, we had inflation. Our dollar strengthened. Their currencies got weaker. Just doing the exact opposite right now. And then if it did go down, then yeah, there you go. So yeah, man, I think it's fascinating. If deflation, where should people look to put money? Well, that's the beauty. Everything I've been telling you is kind of accounting for this. You diversify. You need a little bit of cash, a little bit of physical. You can't leverage. You can't have a lot of leverage because that's what will kill you. But yeah, like having stuff that tracks your best case scenario. If it's like serious deflation, you at least want assets that'll track it. Because like again, you even see gold and silver. That's deflationary. You never have you ever heard of people say this? Do you guys realize like back in the 70s? Gold, this might piss some of you guys off, and people circulate this to piss people off, but like in the 70s, gold, the dollar was backed by gold. So before Nixon, and most of you know that, but like think about minimum wage. You were getting paid in gold essentially. So now if you try to get the same minimum, like gold, if the same amount, it would be like $250 an hour. So in a weird way, it's very deflationary when you take a step back, because like you had an asset. Now, if you had gold, it's tracking with the price movements, but it's not gonna be like that forever. There's gonna be different assets. So that's why I've always said a little bit of everything, diversification. Worst case, everybody might get hit off of a serious deflation, but if you have assets that account for it, you're at least it should track to the changes in any other prices. But I do think diversification is the answer. A little bit of cash, a little bit of assets, stocks, various kinds, and then lack of debt. Debt is the thing that kills you in deflation. So yeah, there's my rant. I hope it helped. The gold standard can return? No. You can't for the global economy. We have a cool economic lesson on it. If you go to the trading fraternity, there were some economic lessons in 2024 I made. And one of them we talked about that. Because gold is, the gold standard would be too limited. Where you can't, print and send money overseas and have a system that could grow. You'd be constrained by the limit on gold. But that's why, like paper economies, fiat, it has allowed you to have globalization. All right, man, more values fucking going up on all this. I like how we dropped a little bit more during all that. Yeah, it would take you back decades of growth. And then it would have a cap, more or less. Yeah, bro. PG, all these value stocks are just going up now. So that's good for it. Damn, you're down 2.5 on the Nasdaq. Let's see if that SPY dynamic changed. NASDAQ, 71. Same setup. Only one more went red. SPY, 266. So about 5 more went red. And then Dow, 1 went green. 1713. I don't know when but Trump is going to talk forever. They're going to do one of those cabinet meetings where they go through with everybody and have them talk. It does set up a Froggy Friday, man. That's what I said. Get ready. Think about the move Friday to Monday. And then even after we get the earnings. It's different this time. You can't use history as a reference. Nah, history could always be used as a reference. I strongly believe it. There's nothing new under the sun. So it may not happen exactly the same, but it's happened before. You know, that's why, like, this whole experiment with QE, still an experiment. But that's why it's saying, like, even just how the extremes of how this played out with, you know, the dollar, inflation, deflation, it may not play exactly the same. There's going to be different dynamics, but I mean, just the nature of how value moves, like I'm saying, with the system we're on today, stronger dollar affecting other currencies affecting us, trade, that's not going to change. Again, the biggest change we're going to get is the AI economy, like a real AI economy, not this bullshit we see today where we're building into it and hyping it up. I'm talking about, like, again, real AGI, but then again, that brings up the whole deflationary talk once again. All right, SPY still going down again. 2.5, bro. 2.5. And then I think they are going to do a vote on the shutdown. Or something. Apple was holding on pretty good, but now it's down 0.4. But yeah, sadly, dude, it seemed like Meta seemed fire, but if you held the first Meta play, you still would be in the money. But a lot of the pre-run-ups were better, even on Apple. I sold it a little early, but after today, they fucking hit the pre-run-up. This is such a typical AI move. It's just very large considering Microsoft. And then again, staples. Low ticker is almost fully maxed out. You're into the low. You've already hit the bigger levels today, you guys. That's just the crazy part. So maybe 68, and then maybe we get back down 68.40, but the real danger zone is like 67.90. AKA, you fucking go down another 70 points would be your terrible, terrible worst case scenario today. I don't know if that's going to happen, if that's possible, but yeah, anything is possible, son. Been a very wild month, even for fucking gold and silver. It's actually kind of coming back, though. So like I said, though, now, do you guys know what's going to happen with gold and silver? What does this look like? It's been massive, and it's hard to ignore the size, but it's just wait till the last hour. Because if it doesn't fucking slingshot back up here very soon, which I doubt it will, but then again, I mean, I didn't know it would do that today. But, like, watch for that last hour. Battle, Battalion Oil. We saw this one move the other day. SPY still going lower. So again, I'd give it like 10, 20 points at a time to the downside, but then, like I'm saying, your parachute is 70 points lower. Time to buy? It depends. So like if you're a tech buyer and you wanted tech that was already high and you ignored everything I've told you, you could get a discount today. But then like everything we've been buying is at the same price or higher. Just because that's what happens on these days. Do you guys understand? Oh man. So yeah, but that's what I said. I said it earlier, bro. I have a tech stock that I want. Sadly, you guys, I don't want to break the news to you. Do you guys want me to break it to you? I could tell you. You might get mad at me though. Because I said I kind of want a tech stock. It's up a lot. I just don't know if I want to deal with those problems. Like, you know? Like, listen, like, there's some very attractive strippers in this world. I don't know if I want to date a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Let alone marry one for 10 years minimum. I'm sure it'd be exciting. I'm sure it's attractive. But, you know, I'm trying to build a real long-term family at this point in my life. You know? So, yeah, why not? Kimberly Kapowski. But other than that, that's how I feel. I just don't want these problems with the tech stocks. Yeah, bro. I don't want to deal with... You could play them, but it's so much... There's just so many problems, bro. I don't need these problems. They can fix her. But yeah, you want me to break the news for you? Unfortunately, the tech stock that I'd like now, and that's what I'm saying, it's not even like a good price, but I like the idea, but it's not Adobe. I know I brought up Adobe. Adobe finally went lower though. You're like 10 more bucks from Adobe hitting a new price over the last couple years. But I know a lot of you want it to be Adobe, but it's not Adobe, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But I still like, that was one I was considering, but that's what I'm saying. Some of these start to drop a decent amount. I get a little excited. Oh, that's all I could tell you. I don't want to, because it's tempting, but then I don't know, maybe you guys just kept asking me to buy dog shit so much. I was like, oh, maybe I should get some dog shit. But I do like some growth, but and some of these have just gotten fucking clobbered. But yeah, we'll have to see. Well, I'm a patient guy. I don't even have a deposit. I'm window shopping. You know, I'm fucking winning. I wish I put it on layaway. Does it have a divvy? I don't know. It might. It wouldn't be like a divvy to buy for the divvy, though. But yeah, there's been a couple that have hit some pretty decent prices. But like, that's the difference, because like, think about it. You buy one of these tech stocks that are still up. Again, we'll hold it for 10 years, but it's just like this next 12 months, look at like days like today. If people get freaked out, if we start to stall, these tech stocks are going to get fucking beat. Like very, very bad. So that's going to be the negative of it. And then take a look. You're not going to do bad on shit that's already beaten down, that's going to stick around and be there. And then again, if we didn't have Intel, I would probably be buying them. Thankfully, we got the nice mix of beating down and holding up. But even Intel flipped today. It was doing good for a little bit. Trump comment was earlier in the morning. I think the best hint is it's not Adobe, but Adobe's still on the list. I think it's the only hint I could give you. Because this is just an idea. It's not anything crazy. And like I said, I don't... Damn, you guys really like strippers, huh? You You like, what's her Instagram? I'm gonna follow her on Instagram real quick. Let me see though. You may not like strippers, Josh, but I'm down with this problem. What type of, wait, what? What do you mean value? That's crazy. Yeah, you guys are jumpy. Hey, Matt. Coin dying now. Ooh, down 7? All right, man. Couple candles up. Like I said, bro, anything below this level gets kind of fucking nasty. Some of y'all are into that. But so we'll see where this takes us. But yeah, you're chilling out for a little. That's your first little bounce with everything. I think even the high ticker trying to get some. And then Staples did very good off of this. Kept that up there. Yeah, fucking Pepsi. Microsoft, Meta. Netflix getting some love. A little bit. A little volume. Southwest going up. Trump officials held secret meetings with prominent Canadian groups seeking to secede. Oh, dude, the fucked up part is that there was a meeting. There was a meeting in Alberta the other day. And, like, it was a gigantic building of people who wanted to secede from Canada. So, yeah, that might be true. Yeah, railroads are going up now. CLX, Sprouts, more value. More value. Retreat. No, they rotate. Ba-da-bop-bop-bop. I'm in a cult. Pepsi earnings on Monday. They did very good. I was very impressed with them. It's finally coming back. You gotta get through that 157. But yeah, they woke up a little bit after chilling. JBSS. All right, man. That's your first little bounce in a solid hour. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, gold and silver. Like I'm saying, though, it's not. I don't think it's gonna slingshot back up. You're more likely to do the move towards the end of the day. Now, maybe last hour. That's just what's happened the last couple days. So if it stalls out and it doesn't do the fucking melt up every minute, then probably towards the end. And then too, if we get Donald Trump, I mean, you're gonna have opportunities to for him to talk about the dollar, and then that's kind of dollar, him and Besson. That's kind of what's been moving things around. Yeah, bro, I think the Canada thing is actually kind of legit. It was the other day, I saw this little video of it. There was a bunch of people in Canada, and they were trying to, I think the Alberta, isn't that like an oil spot of Canada too? Let me see if I could find it. Yeah, that's coming out now. Is this it? No, where's the big video? There was like a meeting, dude. It was like a board meeting, and it was in like a warehouse. I can't find it. Damn it. There's clips of people outside, but no, there's one of it inside. The 11 out of 11. I gotta set up a new phone. I mean, last time I did a 11 out of 11, like a month later, they said they were gonna kill my mom. So, but I think we could figure it out. But like, Tim needs to help me set up a VoIP phone number. I want to have a phone number across the screen that you guys call. But then, like, I'm not gonna lie to you though. If we do it, I'm gonna be mean to you. Okay? But if you got good shit, I'll be nice. But if you're like, Josh, should I put dog shit in my portfolio? I'm just gonna hang up. Okay? I'm not even gonna inquire. That's it. But that's why I do think this part in the journey, the second half of the decade, I'm trying to take the training wheels off. I'm trying to lead y'all in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But yeah, I want you to I want to let you do it on your own. I want you to successfully navigate and actually be able to make good decisions. You know, I don't want you to rely on a training wheel or a crutch. But yeah, I miss those. Those are good. Always a good time. I need to get the VoIP phone number, bro. Yeah, the Zoom phone. Is that what it is? I need to get a Zoom phone. They're like, so, hey, Josh. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I've been listening every day for the last 5 years. But I conveniently ignored it when you screamed about being the Intel CEO and Intel at $20 for 3 months. What do you think about buying Intel 100% higher? Get the fuck off the phone! I'm not fucking... Why? Hey, Josh. Long-time listener. First-time caller. I know you like good quality, like Kimberly Clark, and you just bought it. And even tap at below book value, but do you have anything else that I could buy? What the fuck, man? What? I bought like 2 stocks I'll buy like 6 in a year. You go, that's 30%. I gotta go. Hey, Josh. First time caller, a long time listener. I'm an OG since 2020. Why exactly do you think GameStop shouldn't be in my long term? The fuck, man? It's been a half a decade. I gotta go, man. Hey, Josh. First time caller. Long time listener. I'm very impressed with the things you do in the market, but how are you such a fucking idiot supporting Trump? I thought you were better than that. I watched all the videos. I ignore all the videos you said. You're better than that. Okay. All right. Damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. You ain't watched the video I made on the BBB? I gotta go, bro. I gotta go. This is bullshit, bro. This is bullshit. I can keep going. Hey, Josh. Long time listener. First time call. What do you think about Weibo? Oh my gosh. Get it. Just do it. Go, get it then. Fine, get it. Do it. Do whatever you want. Just get it, bro. I don't care. Holy. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, man, fuck y'all. Some of you were like, you know what? That would actually be entertaining. You should do it, Josh. That would actually, I would enjoy this. Why, man? Why? Have you ever tried to save somebody drowning? Have you ever thrown somebody a life jacket? And they're like, nah, you got another one? I'm like, dog, you're... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then you throw them, and they're like, I wasn't even drowning. I didn't even need, what the fuck? I didn't even need a life jacket. I got my own boat. I got a yacht. Then why are you what are you doing? There's, oh my gosh. So yeah, bro. It could go either way. So, let's go, man. I want to see y'all do good. If you don't need a life jacket, don't take it. Just get out the way. If you need it, just be wise, man. You got it all. You got it all. See, you just got to put it to life. Put it to work. Hey, Josh. First time caller, long time listener. What do you think about prop funds? I've been on Instagram a lot. Oh my gosh. Why don't you just get a hard money loan? Fucking flip a house. Why fucking what are you trying to do mini hard money loan for with the fucking Caribbean broker out of the fucking Caymans? You don't even, it's in India now. It's in fucking India. You don't even gonna put $10 in and try to withdraw it first. Oh my gosh. This is bullshit. But I'm down. Get me a VoIP number. I'm down. We could try it for a day. Maybe it could be fun. Microsoft, the spy below the VWAP. It's actually funny because this is the opposite of every other day. Remember how we hit VWAP and bounce? Now you're below VWAP, and then if we hit VWAP, we'll probably sell off again. Well, speaking of GME, have you guys heard? Do you guys know what's going on with GME besides the other shit with the fucking, what's his name? Mr. Cohen buying all the shit in Bury? Did you guys hear the other part of GME? Not that he's a time traveler, which I still believe is my favorite theory when I think about it. But did you hear about it? No, yeah, besides the time travelers. No. Mm-hmm. You guys haven't heard? Shut up. Well, I don't know. Maybe you guys can confirm this for me. How the fuck do I know about it? Maybe I just banned everybody who would have probably knew. No, not Michael Burry. You guys don't know? You don't know? You haven't heard of Barking Puppy? I wish I was making this up. I wish I was making this up, bro. Oh. You have not heard of Barking Puppy? Damn, I'm putting y'all on game then, huh? Well, apparently, I don't know if this is legit or not, but apparently, Barking Puppy is Keith Gill's brother. And he just got on Twitter posting shit. This was about 3-4 days ago. I'm surprised you guys didn't know this. Yes, Barking Puppy. Apparently this is whatever, I don't even fucking know his name. Kevin Gill? Yes. And he's trying to do this, he's posting a lot more, but yes, you haven't heard of Barking Puppy? Wow, no way I'm the first person telling you. Yes. Barking Puppy. So, that's besides the Cohen, the Burry, the Time Travelers, the GMEs are now, they're relying on their boy, the brother of Keith Gill, also known as Barking Puppy. Yeah, I don't know if it's legit, but I think it is. I think it's actually his brother. He hasn't said anything or done anything. They're just, yeah, I'm too old for this. I honestly, based on the demographics, you might not be. You really not might be, bro. I know guys who could qualify for a reverse mortgage. They still like, yo, and then the MOAS, you get the MOAS and the fair value is $1 million a share, son. Yeah, it's kind of a Roaring Kitty spinoff. Barking Puppy, Roaring Kitty. But yeah, I think they're related. I think it's his actual, like, blood brother. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know warranties. Look at GME's popping on that, you guys. You guys are like, wait a minute. He kind of does look like Pete Davidson. Well, there you go. Barking Puppy. You could tell I've been on Reddit. No, I haven't been on Reddit, except for now I'm about to go on Reddit. I got my algos working for me. Reddit is just some stuff propagates from there, but it needs a little bit more. Reddit's not hot. Oh, first encounter with ICE. My husband and I are work visas in the U.S. We're running errands, decided to stop at Target. As we walk out, an ICE agent stand near the entrance. I didn't think much, but we approached our car. 2 agents came up to us. I'm from Europe. My husband's from Asia. Both have accents. I think I might have raised some suspicions. One guy asked where we were from and asked to see our driver's license. We cooperated and handed our license. He then asked us a bunch of invasive questions about our work and where we live. To be honest, it was a bit unsettling. We've never had issues with immigration before. That was our first experience with ICE. It didn't seem to be hostile or aggressive, but was intimidating. The whole situation lasts 10 minutes and they let us go. Think about it. You're walking alone. Someone comes up to you for your info because you look foreign. It sounds like a scene from a Gestapo movie. Just venting. Wow. It's so funny because, like, if I ask my mom, she'd be like, good. I said, Mom, what if somebody came up to you and asked if you were American? She said, good, I show them. Why? I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. Why would I? What do you mean? I'm like, oh, okay, Mom. Lift. That's a first Reddit post. Let's see. Tesla 2024 was bad. 2025 was worse as profit falls 46%. What's a childhood lie your parents told you you didn't realize was a lie until you were embarrassed as an adult? Serious contender for movie of the year. Not a single ticket of Melania at Boston's largest theater was sold. Am I the asshole for not putting my pregnant girlfriend on the deed of the house? She says the situation is unfair and she is at my mercy. Lady Gaga condemns ICE in speech during her show in Japan. What a place. Yo, Lyft. Still going. Is it normal to wipe and wash your booty hole, right? Oklahoma teacher lost teaching license after protesting laws pressuring teachers to remove books from classrooms. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my food with my girlfriend? What? Do you guys see why? I think Reddit, believe me, bro, I'm so tempted to I want to be like a Redditor for a month. But then I'm scared how many people would agree with me. But like, this shit's depressing. I don't know how any other way to put it. I mean, like, I don't know. But then again, I see how this could shape your worldview. Rob Schneider's wife divorces him. Listen up, liberal. My wife left me. Damn, they're shitting on Rob Schneider's divorce. Damn, bro. Sorry, Rob. I love this guy. John Leguizamo saying to fuck ICE. Nice. ICE agent arrested on DUI and child endangerment charges. It's like a 30-40% ICE ratio. Your girl wants to watch Melania this weekend? Yeah, because you're a Republican, dude. Fuck yeah. Yeah, you're lucky, man. You're lucky. You know, my girl likes Melania too. Not because I'm a Republican though, but like, my girl thinks she's an icon. She says she always liked Melania. She just likes the fashion. Starbucks sees full year consolidated revenue up 28. Are they still dropping more? Check Starbucks. I hit the wire in red. It's not against the law to drive. Oh, you believe that? I just remember my parents would turn into like vampires. You remember that? Like when it would be nighttime and then you turn on the car light, they go. They made such a big deal about it, but I never really. I get it now sometimes though. Sometimes I can't see out the window when you turn on the light in the car. So I kind of feel you. Iran Navy will conduct exercises with China and Russia in the Sea of Oman in the coming days. That's a misdemeanor where you come from? No way. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a lie. Senate Agriculture Committee advanced crypto market structure legislation after less than an hour of debate. That makes no sense. What does the Agriculture Committee have to do with crypto structure? We're planting Bitcoin! Woo! Always told it was illegal. That's crazy. My email is tradingfraternity@gmail.com. Again, Lyft and Uber went up. They're actually holding SPY right below VWAP, but I don't think we're out of the woods just yet, you guys. Yeah, Lyft is still climbing, no headlines. And then you have the Starbucks stuff. There you go. Starbucks starting to move. Again, they're giving full year guide right now. Full year 28 adjusted EPS guide, 335 to 4. Let me see something. Yeah, Starbucks is moving. What did Peter Schiff say? I don't know what he said. Adjusted EPS. Oh, that's a raise, I think, dude. 335 to 4. Oh, I got 341. So they're raising the top end of their guide, but still kind of in line. But my estimate's 341 for 2028. They said 335 to 4. They see 5,000 new coffee house opportunities beyond full year 28. Number of coffee house opportunities could be double over the time of average unit volume grows. I did not share the tech name I like. No. Atlanta Fed GDP 4.2 versus 5.4. Again, and Uber and Lyft are going up. Starbucks sees 40,000 locations outside of US beyond full year 28. First Brands founder indicted by US prosecutors. Remember, that was part of end of last year too, with some of the debt shit and Oracle. Remember, we kept seeing those little bankruptcies left and right. Oh, and it's push-up time. Let's not miss it today. Let's get moving, Chattadoon. Let's get moving. Does that sound like a good plan? So, brothers and sisters, you've been here for 2.5 hours. You have 4.5 hours left to go. Sitting is the new smoking. Get beside your desk and do 10 push-ups, will you please? Please get the body moving. Chest to the sun, flex the core, tuck the hips in. Why are your legs wrapped behind your chair? Why are you kicking yourself? Don't do that. Come on, man. Let's move around. Come on, please. It's for you. But yeah, man. And then relax your eyeballs. Stare away from the computer. Blink a couple of times. You'll be chill, You move your jaw around. Go ahead. Let it out, bro. Let it out. Did you guys see that video? You can people do that for like healing. So like the ICE protesters, they have Zoom calls. They have healing Zoom calls where they get together and they sing meditation songs and go la 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 la. It's pretty cool. I think you should throw holy water at them, but still, feel free, move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You already gymmed in sauna before open? What? That's impressive. I hate the gym in the morning. I can't. I did it. You guys got me to do it a couple times. And then one time the chat got me to go on a run in the morning. And I was running through downtown. And then I ran through a corridor of the homeless people. And it smelled like piss. And I almost threw up in my mask. This was when they made you wear masks. It was disgusting. I haven't tried it again. But yeah, sauna sounds kind of nice. But yeah, well, you still got to move around every hour, though. You don't want to sit too long. So get moving, Chattadoon.
Thank you very much.
Oh, he's live at push-ups?
More beautiful. You can
Beautiful.
see
Perfect
the flags
timing, Donald.
behind us of the different forces and the American flag and various others. It's, I think, quite spectacular. It's never looked this good. And hopefully we're going to do work that's never been as good. So I think that's basically what's happened in our first year. We've had an amazing year, and this will be our first cabinet after the year, so we're starting our second year. Tremendous progress has been made. I want to thank my entire cabinet for 12 months of unprecedented achievements. We really have. I mean, it's unprecedented The numbers we've had on the economy and growth, you see them. And that's despite a Democrat shutdown. Without the shutdown, we would have picked up about 1.5 points more than already high numbers, record-setting numbers. So this has been, I think, and a lot of people say it, the most successful year of any administration in American history. First year, there's never been a first year like this, including the fact that we extinguished 8 wars, and another one we think is coming. Steve Witkoff's working very hard, and Jared and everybody else, and I think it's coming. It was just announced that the murder rate in our country is the biggest drop ever recorded. It's at the lowest level in 125 years. First in recorded history, it's the lowest in at least 125 years. It's a wonderful thing. And that crime is way down, and one of the reasons was we've taken a lot of bad people and gotten them out of our country. In some cases, they're so bad that we put them in prison because we don't want them to even take a chance of coming back in, even though our border is very secure, record-setting secure. We had 0 illegal aliens being admitted into our country for the last 8 months. That's hard for even me to believe, but the people that make up the lists are supposedly nonpartisan, but I would say they lean toward the Democrat side. And if they say that, I'm all for it. As you know, we've had a situation take place with respect to Venezuela. I want to just thank General Kane and his staff. The job that they've done is incredible. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And once it did take place, I want to thank the leadership of Venezuela. We're getting along really well with them. The relationships have been very strong, very good. And they have informed me that they feel there's very good security, very strong security. We're working with the various people involved, including Chris and Doug and everybody on the oil. We have the major oil companies going to Venezuela now, scouting it out and picking their locations, and they'll be bringing back tremendous wealth for Venezuela and for the United States, and the oil companies will do fine too. Venezuela will actually make for themselves more money than they've ever made before, and that's a good thing. And the people of Venezuela were literally in the streets waving American flags.
Are they building a Caesars in Venezuela?
And
why is this thing
people
popping?
in our country, like in the Doral section of Miami, which is considered little Venezuela, they're thrilled. And I just spoke to the president of Venezuela and informed her that we're going to be opening up all commercial airspace over Venezuela.
Maybe they are building a Caesars in Venezuela.
Very shortly able to go to Venezuela, and they'll be safe there. They'll be safe. It's under very strong control. And the people of formerly of Venezuela,
is like a China pump
want to go back, and some want to go back to visit.
Uber and Lyft keep
and
going.
They're going to be able to do that. So I've instructed Sean Duffy and everybody else concerned, including the military, that if you would, by the end of today, I'd like you to have the airspace over Venezuela. Planes can go to Venezuela, opened up. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank all of the people in Venezuela for what they went through, and I want to thank the leadership for really they're doing a good job. And just as I promised, we've defeated the Biden inflation nightmare and achieved explosive new economic growth. The Atlanta Fed is predicting an astounding 5.4% GDP growth in the fourth quarter, and that's despite the fact that we had a Democrat shutdown. We would have had, that number would have been 7%, which is a number nobody's ever heard of. And we've been given great national security because of tariffs, and we've also been given unprecedented income because of tariffs. Part of the income that we gave, $12 billion, we gave to the farmers of our country, so that yesterday I was up in Iowa, and they were very happy, Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir.
They were very, very happy. They were great. So the GDP growth in the fourth quarter was great, and it's going to be, I think we're going to have an amazing and incredible year. Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either. So we'll work in a very bipartisan way, I believe, not to have a shutdown. We don't want a shutdown. And just yesterday, the S&P 500 hit 7,000 for the first time ever. There's never been any time at which it's done like that. And the other stocks also, I think it was 52 times for the Dow.
Not any time it's done that.
But the 7,000 was not a number that was even thinkable if you go back a year ago. So S&P hit 7,000 for the first time ever.
Ever,
the stock
not
market
you know what that means?
has set,
Ever.
It's actually 53 all-time record highs since the election, adding $9 trillion in value to savings, retirement accounts, and 401ks. And I mean, everybody benefits, but we have record stock markets. Companies have never done well. And most importantly, if you think about it, after 4 years in which Biden got much less than $1 trillion of investment into our country, actually it was taken over 11 months, even though we're 12 months. In 11 months, we've taken in more than $18 trillion. So they did less than $1 trillion, Scott, in a period of 4 years, and we've done $18 trillion in less than 1 year. So there's never been anything like that. No other country has done those numbers, by the way, in history. 10 years ago, one country did $3 trillion. No other. We did $18 trillion is being invested now. Thousands of businesses, plants, equipment all over the country are being built right now. And they're going to be opening pretty soon. And when they open, you'll see numbers like nobody's ever seen before. The economy is doing amazingly well. I wish the press would report it, but people are finding out. They're seeing it. It's coming. It's becoming pretty evident. It's hard to hide. Biden inflation, which is really stagflation, cost the typical family $34,000. Think of that, $34,000. But after 1 year, growth in real incomes is outpacing inflation by more than $3,000 under Trump. So one cost $34,000 and one made $3,000. That's a big swing. Gasoline has plunged to, think of this, over $4 a gallon, depending on where you are. In California, it's $7, $8 a gallon. I was in Iowa, and they had $1.85, because I had it at $1.99 a gallon. And I was corrected by two farmers that said, I just bought my gasoline for $1.85. So, Chris, you have to be doing something right, you and Doug, right? But I don't want to give you too much confidence. You got to keep it going. We're drilling, I think I can say we're drilling more than at any time ever in the history. We're taking out more energy out of our land, but specifically, if you look at oil and gas, we've never been anywhere even close. Is that a correct statement?
That is correct. All-time records.
Yeah, great. It's a great job. Well, it's supply and demand, so that's going down rapidly, and when energy goes down, everything else goes down.
I used to get mad that he would repeat it
because
I thought he was better than Biden.
Then they ran back.
But then, if I take the chat off,
Trump policy, but they didn't do the
know how
Trump
many
policy.
times people are going to ask me to
leases,
repeat the same shit?
Everything that they could do.
I think it's just
but
the way the world
lost
works,
it,
bro.
And they were very high, and we're now less than $2 in many areas. $2.30 a gallon average. Grocery prices, airfares, hotels, car payments, and rent prices are coming down very fast. And you don't hear the word affordability issued by the Democrats anymore. Now they're going into other things because they're getting beaten badly on affordability. Remember that when I was elected, I came into office, I inherited a total mess, starting with eggs, which were 4 times higher than they were just a year before. And Brooke got them down very quickly before Easter. They said they wanted me to buy plastic eggs for the egg hunt, at the very famous egg hunt at the White House. Sir, would you buy plastic eggs? I would buy a lot of 100,000 eggs. I said, we're not going to buy plastic eggs. And by the time we had the egg hunt a few months later, we had the prices down pretty good. And now they're really low. Now they're at a very low level. So we really have, you don't hear the word affordability because we inherited very high prices.
He already said
we inherited the highest inflation in 48
right
years.
Away.
I say
he
the
started
history
off
of our
with that
country. I think it sounds almost the same. Actually, I think 48 years sounds actually worse for some reason. So I'll go with the 40 because the press corrected me. I said history, and they said, it's not history, it's 48 years. I said, I'll accept that. And we had the highest inflation in 48 years. We have now as you saw yesterday with the Fed, I'm not a fan of his. He said that inflation essentially is not a factor.
I'm not a fan of his.
been pretty amazing. I just put out a statement about his statements. I won't repeat them here because they're too angry. And thanks to our tax cuts, millions of Americans will soon receive record-setting tax refunds. You're going to get a lot of tax refunds, with the average refund expected to be over $1,000 higher than it has been at any time. So we're going to be getting some pretty good refunds, a lot of people. If congressional Democrats had their way, Americans would right now be facing the largest tax hike ever. You know, their proposal was to raise taxes very substantially. And our proposal, which is in the great big beautiful New Deal, it's a New Deal in its own way. It's a Republican version of the New Deal. Right behind you is a nice picture of FDR. This is a much better deal than the FDR deal. But we have the great big beautiful bill, and it's given tremendous tax cuts and a lot of other things. People are now finding out how good it is, and it's just kicked in as of January 1st, by the way. So we're really starting to see it. Even though it's a month, we're really starting to see it. The U.S. economy would be cratering if they had won this election. Our country would be in very bad shape. Would be maybe not much of a country anymore. I don't think it would be a country anymore. They were doing everything wrong, but they were going to give you the largest tax hike in history, and we're giving you the largest tax cut in history in the great big beautiful bill. In addition, I think it's very good. I think it's very important. You have no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, and no tax on Social Security, but you also have, you're getting an
Sandisk with a pretty big flip.
If you buy a car, you go out and borrow
Kinda
money,
looks
you
aggressive.
get an interest deduction. You take the interest rate, the interest that you're paying on the loan, you're able to deduct it for income tax purposes. So that's a first ever, and I think it's going to be great for
Used to be rich
everybody,
people who could
including
do
the car
deductions.
companies. I was in Detroit 3 weeks ago. I went to the Ford factory, spoke to the General Motors people. It's all the same. They're doing better than they've ever done. The factory I went to was like a World War I, earlier than World War I factory, opened up. One of the oldest buildings, but one of the biggest. And Ford was getting ready to close it a couple of years ago, and then they saw that I was doing well, and it looked like I would have a good chance of winning. And they kept it going, barely going. And last week they announced, during my visit, they announced that they're going to round the clock production. They never thought it was. I said, did you ever think? I spoke with Bill Ford and the president of Ford. They were both there, and they said, we can't even believe it. We were going to close this building 2 years ago, and now it's going round the clock. He said, we cannot. I mean, they said, we wish it was twice the size, but they're now building additional plants in the United States, as is everybody else. You have AI building, but the car companies, I love the car companies, and you have them, they're all coming back. They're coming back from Mexico, they're coming back from Canada, they're coming back from Japan, and they're coming back from Germany, all over Europe. They're coming back, they're building here because they want to avoid the tariffs. They don't want to pay the 15%, in some cases 25% tariff. Could be a lot higher than that if it wasn't working. So because of that, they're all coming back. One statistic yesterday that Scott told me is that for the first time ever, tell them about the steel in Japan, that we are now making more steel. Go ahead, please.
So yesterday they reported for the first time in 26 years, the United States of America produced more steel than Japan.
steel than
That is
ever.
entirely driven by your tariffs.
Howard! Amazing. Yeah, that's crap.
He obviously said that much better than I did because I got no applause and I'm giving you home run after home run. He says one thing and everybody else. I should have saved that one for myself. No, but think of it. First time, and they read almost 30 years, but I guess it's 26, 27 years that we are now producing more steel than Japan. Japan being a big steel producer. Japan and other countries really took our steel production away from us. Now, if you think of this, 3-4 years ago, the steel companies were all closing up. We worked a fantastic deal with U.S. Steel. We saved U.S. Steel. And now it's all coming about, but and that's just the beginning. There are a lot of steel plants right now being built. So that's an amazing It's an amazing number. Nobody would have believed that. If you would have said that 3, 4, 5 years ago, people would have said, yeah, it's not a true fact. But so it has to be true, because otherwise you question me on everything. I have to be extremely accurate. I don't exaggerate it. I don't want to exaggerate, because you will call me. You don't call other people, but you would call me under my most favored nation spot, which I think is the most important thing, Bobby, of all.
Bobby.
What we've done, because we're bringing drug prices down by 80, 90%, depending on the way. You could say 5, 6, 7, 800%. Depends on the way you want to calculate it, right? But let's go the old-fashioned way. But drug prices for prescription drugs will be down 80, 90%, 75%, 68%. They've only gone up. For years and years and years, they've only gone up. And now we're going to have essentially the most favored nation. We're going to have the most favored price in the whole world. Whatever the lowest price in the world is, that's what we're going to pay. And I don't want to go into a big deal, but nobody else could have gotten this but this administration. I'm being very nice when I say that. The cost of prescription drugs is coming down by a number that was never even thought of. This will have a huge impact on healthcare, by the way, because obviously drugs are a big part of healthcare, and it will help repair some of the Unaffordable Care Act's damage that they've done, because the Unaffordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, it's unaffordable. It's not affordable, and it's a disaster. And hopefully we will be paying money directly to the people instead of giving the insurance companies the money. They'll go into a healthcare savings account or whatever it is. But think of it, we pay the money, billions and billions, really trillions of dollars going to insurance companies. We want that money to go to the people. They buy their own health care. And it's so popular. The problem we have is the Democrats are owned by the insurance companies. They're literally owned lock, stock, and barrel by the insurance companies, and they hate it. But the people love it, including all Democrats. So I think we'll perhaps be successful with it. But it was an idea I had. I read the papers, and I'm reading one of the stories about the insurance companies, how much money they're making, where they received, billions and billions of dollars for this stuff from the United States of America, and their stock has gone up by 1,400%. Think of it, 1,400. One went up 1,700%. Numbers went up. If you go up 1,000%, you're doing bad in that business, right? And it's all because of the money. Not all, but mostly because of the money the United States pays the insurance companies. They say, this is big stuff. And I asked somebody, why don't we just pay the people directly? And they said, that's a good idea. It's funny, it's a very complicated business, but actually it's not so complicated. And I went to Bobby and I went to Dr. Oz. I said, can I talk to you guys about
Caesar!
Is this the kind of money the insurance companies get? Yes. Why don't we pay the people?
Hightaker's active, but Spy hasn't moved in like an hour.
Is that the Democrats will never go along with it, but the people go along with it, because I put it out. It went viral. Susie, I went all over the place. It became the biggest story. I just said it, and so I think we have a great situation if we can do it. But if you think most favored nation policy for drugs will bring your drug prices down at levels. So now if they're selling a pill for $10 in London and $130 in New York, the London price will go up to $20 and we'll go down to $20. So we'll go from 130 down to 20. And by the way, tariffs did it again, because the drug company said, we'll do it begrudgingly, but they were okay. But we'll do it, but no nation's going to approve it, because even if you raise the price by, like on a pill, $10 to $20, you're doubling the price of their prescription drugs. I said, no, they'll do it. And when I got them on the phone, I said, if you don't do it, we're going to charge you very substantial tariffs, more money than that's going to cost you. And they said, we'll do it. And before, I don't know that any other president even tried to do it. We can't find it. But if they did try, they wouldn't have gotten through the companies. They wouldn't have gotten through the company, and then they wouldn't have gotten through the country. I spoke with Macron. He was the first one. He was not at that time wearing sunglasses. And he said, no, Donald, I will not do this. I will not. I won't even consider. You're asking me to double the price. I said, you have no choice. You have to do it, because you guys have been ripping us off. In other words, the whole world, we've been subsidizing the whole world on drug costs. That's why they were $10 and we'd be at 130. As an example, there were many examples. I could give you examples even worse. He said, no, I will not do that.
No.
Yes, you will. 100%
I love his
you'll do it."
Macron voice.
He said, no, I won't do that, Donald.
No,
You're asking me
no.
to double the cost of our prescription. We will not do that. I said, look, you've been ripping us off now for decades. We're not going to do it anymore. You can do it under Biden and Obama and other people. You're not going to do it under us. We won't do it. I said, well, if you don't do it, I'm going to charge you a 25% tariff on all of your wine, champagne, and everything else you sell into the United States. He said, like I said, I will do it. And that was the end of the conversation, right? That was the end of the conversation. So now we have favored nations that everybody said would be impossible to get. And I then had the same conversation with 15 other countries. Every one of them agreed. After a short conference, they all said no. And then within a matter of seconds, they said, we would be very happy to do that. Thank you for asking in such a nice way. And it's a great achievement. I think it's going to be one of the best achievements we've had in this country in a long time. So we're going to be knocking drug prices down at levels never seen before. I want to thank the drug companies because once they agreed, they really did. They felt it was very unfair. One of them told me it's actually a relief to agree because this has been just a rough thing for me, to justify, because they couldn't justify it. I said, how come in London I can buy something for $10 and in New York I have to pay $130? And they go, well, it's research and development. I said, yeah, but you have research and development from them. Made in the same factory, made in everything. This is where my friend, who's very successful, I told you, a seriously overweight person, he takes the fat pill or the fat shot. And he was in London and he said, cost $87 there, cost $13.
Donald, tell me the fat shot story again, Donald. I love it.
And
this is my favorite story. Tell me the fat
shot. He put it in a
shot.
very blunt way. I've known him a long time.
He'll add a new detail every time.
Made a lot of money. But he just thought
Last time he said he couldn't even walk across the street. I didn't know that the first 7 times.
Ozempic, I think, or one of them. And I told him it wasn't working. For him, it didn't work. And he brought up a good point.
They all laugh the same way.
I told him, he knows who I'm talking about. He's going crazy. He begs me not to mention.
He's not talking about me, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not our great vice president. No, but he begs me not to mention his name because he's become very famous without mentioning his name. And he is actually a very well-known business person. But he did make a point. But I knew the point very well. We were always paying far more than any other nation. We were subsidizing the world. Right now, there's no more of that. So we're going to be bringing the drug prices down at numbers never seen before. It's going to have a huge impact, positive impact on healthcare. So with that, we are going to ask a couple of people to say a few words. And we're not going to go
President
through
of the
whole
United
thing,
States of
because the last time we had
America.
a
That's
press
who's
conference,
speaking.
It lasted for
No, I am letting
3
you
hours.
speak in the chat right
And
now,
some
so
people
please
said
use it
he
wisely.
closed his
Thank
eyes.
you.
Look, it got pretty boring. In all fairness, I love these people. But there's a lot of people. It was a little bit on the boring side. But I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. Some of them, I didn't sleep, by the way. I don't sleep much, let me tell you. But it's funny, some of them got me in a blink. When you go like, and they took me as at the closed segment of my cycle. And they said he's sleeping. And besides that, Marco, between these two guys, if I was sleeping, they'd be waking me up very fast. They'd be knocking me. Come on, you got to wake up, boss. But no, we've had great meetings. Look, we're the most transparent presidency by far.
Or he said he pretends to go to sleep, so they leave?
A few people. I think I would like.
I don't know if he's
Steve
covering it up
just
or if that's
give
genius.
us a brief
I guess we'll never know.
description of how well we're doing in the Middle East, because we have peace in the Middle
What
East.
does Reddit think?
Just a couple of little minor flames that we put out very easily. And very importantly, we got our last hostage back, which is incredible. Unfortunately, this was something that nobody said could be done. And I will tell you, Hamas was a big factor in getting all of the hostages back. We were not happy with them, and they had to bring them back, and they they found the dead hostages, the bodies of hostages. And those parents wanted their sons back, I think in all cases sons. But they wanted their sons and their family. They wanted their sons back as much as the people that had living hostages that we got them back to. So we got the 20, but remember, we got hundreds back previous to that. But I always said getting those last 20 back is going to be very tough. And we got them back, and we got all of the bodies back also, which to those parents was just as important as getting back the son that was living. Steve, could you give us a little description, please?
Well, your policy of peace through strength, that's what delivered them home. Without that pressure, it never happens. We are in the second phase now. We've stood up for the first time, Mr. President, on your behalf, a technocratic, all Arab government. We've got the terrorists out of there, and they're going to demilitarize. They will, because they have no choice. So we expect that. Pardon me?
And now we want to get Hamas no guns, right?
Right. They're going to give it up. They're going to give up the AK-47s.
A lot of people said they'll never disarm. Looks like they're going to disarm. And they did help us with those bodies, getting them back.
And that family is so grateful to you. They called. I spoke to them. Jared spoke to them. You know, it's an amazing story. He broke his shoulder, but he went out there because he didn't want his friends to fight alone. He would be alive today but for that. He had no reason to go out with a broken shoulder, and he went out and fought them courageously.
God, there was a time in this country where people are like, "Oh my God, the president's
They were the only
speaking."
ones who didn't, they came
You don't
back
remember? You don't remember when
pretty
fucking
rapidly, actually,
pilots?
considering we had
We would salute pilots.
initially with the initial group. After that, we
Yeah,
had
I'll listen to the
get
old
on.
man
That's
talk.
a tough job.
I
That's
laugh
a
at his
nasty job
jokes.
too.
I don't laugh
who would
as
want
much
that
anymore,
one? That's
but
a
yeah.
nasty job. And between Israel and Hamas working together, if you can believe it, they got them back, and we got the last one back yesterday, and the parents are so happy. It's amazing, actually, how
we sent a message to the parents on your behalf, as you suggested, and they were so grateful.
I guess grateful to me is a much better word, because it's hard to be happy, but they were actually.
Hard
they
to be
couldn't
happy.
believe that they had their baby boy. The mother said, my baby boy back. It's a very terrible thing. Steve, Russia, Ukraine, we're making a lot of progress. Could you explain that?
The Ukrainians actually said that we've made more progress since Geneva than they've seen in the last 4 years of that conflict. So we had 5 Russian generals last Sunday in Abu Dhabi with Jared and Dan Driscoll, and we think we made a lot of progress. The talks will continue in about a week, but lots of good things happening between the counterparties discussing the land deal.
They're talking together.
We have a security protocol agreement that's largely finished, a prosperity agreement that's largely finished, and I think the people of Ukraine are now hopeful and expectant that we're going to deliver a peace deal sometime soon.
And because of the cold, extreme cold, they have the same that we do. I personally asked President Putin not to fire on Kiev and the cities and towns for a week during this. It's extraordinary. It's not just like cold, it's extraordinary cold, record-setting cold. Over there too, you're having the same. It's a big pile of bad weather, the worst. But it was really, they said they've never experienced cold like that. And I personally asked President Putin not to fire into Kiev and the various towns for a week, and he agreed to do that. And I have to tell you, it was very nice. A lot of people said, "Don't waste the call; you're not going to get that." And
Hey, yo, Meta's coming back
we're
up.
very happy that they
Keep
did
eyes
it.
on that.
Because on top
High
of
as this
everything
been
else,
since
it's
the
not what
morning.
they need is missiles coming into their towns and cities. So I just thought I should say it. I thought it was a very good thing, and Ukraine was almost, they didn't believe it, but they were very happy about it because they are struggling badly.
I think it shows, Mr. President, how you provide an overarching sort of presence in these negotiations. The Ukrainians never thought it could happen. The Russians are doing things maybe that people wouldn't give them the credit for doing, and I think it always comes down to your indomitable spirit.
Well, it was a good thing. You know, if you think it's cold over here, they say in Ukraine you can add another 20% to it. It was very cold place anyway, but this was, they see numbers that were so, they'd never seen numbers like that, cold numbers like that. So it was, I thought I should mention it. Could I ask Scott Bessent, we have so many things happening, could I ask you to maybe say a few words, please?
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
the one big beautiful bill.
And shout out to
passed
Nicki
on
Minaj.
July 4th last year.
I love
We're
on the
starting to
board.
see
I
the
love her.
effects kick in. You mentioned the great economy.
Gavin might
one
be
of the things
than
in the
me.
one big beautiful bill. Mr. President, it was an honor to host you, and as you said, the best rapper in the world, Nicki Minaj, at yesterday's Trump Accounts Summit. We've now had 1 million people sign up
he
for
loves
Trump
her.
accounts just this week.
You guys were asking me, you're like, Scott Bessent's gay? I'm like, yeah, bro. And look at you, he's the first open gay treasurer.
Who are eligible.
This guy, his accomplishment this year was meeting Nicki Minaj.
That you and she did
God,
has
he loves Nicki.
1 billion hits on the internet. So we're telling everyone, go fill out form 4547, trumpaccount.gov. So thanks to you, the Trump accounts, the next generation's America will benefit from today's record-breaking economy, record-breaking markets. Sir, when we came in, the Biden administration had destroyed the American people.
Bro, he gonna
with 3
be
I's.
Nicki Minaj for
Immigration,
Halloween. Watch.
Inflation and interest rates.
Just watch.
Immigration, check, you close the border. The inflation, as we've heard, back down to target. Prices are coming down, and interest rates, we hope there's more on the way. We've got gains in wages, low prices, and I think 2026 is going to be the year for the Trump boom. It's going to be a supply side boom. I enjoyed the trip out to Iowa. In the diner, the staff there was thanking you for the no tax on tips, and they're expecting big refunds. From that, we saw the CEO of John Deere, who said, thanks to your tariffs, new plants in Indiana and North Carolina coming.
2 massive plants being built by John Deere. And he's the chairman and CEO, wonderful guy. And I said he was at the event we had in Iowa, which is appropriate, John Deere, Iowa. But I said to him, so what are you doing? He said, we just announced 2 massive plants. In fact, they're going to have 1 plant for excavators. And he said, there hasn't been an excavator built in this country in 50 years or something. He said they're taking it out of Japan and they're moving it into the United States. They're 2 very big plants. And I said, so why are you doing it? He said, because of you and because of tariffs. I said, if we didn't have tariffs, would you be doing it? He said, absolutely not. So it's very important, and I hope we're going to be successful with the Supreme Court case, because we're waiting, and we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we don't want to give it back, number one. And number two, and you know, the people that are fighting us on that case, by the way, are China-centric. These are people that are for China, but they're also outside of the United States. These are countries that have ripped us off for years and years, charging us tariffs. And now we're doing an amazing job, and we're getting it back. We're getting it all back and then some. And they're the ones that are leading that lawsuit that we have in front of the United States Supreme Court. So it's a very important lawsuit for our country, and hopefully it's going to work out. We're waiting a long time, but hopefully it's going to work out. We've taken in hundreds of billions, even trillions of dollars.
Yeah, I think you're just getting lifted by Microsoft not going down, and then
part of that $18
Meta climbing up.
trillion that's coming in is because of tariffs. They're coming in. They're building because they don't want to pay the tariff, and the tariffs are very, steep. They could be much steeper. You probably saw I put out a truth today, and the tariffs could be much steeper. We've been actually very nice about it. But even being nice about it, we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars. And honestly, they've given us tremendous national security. The power that we have because of that. They have given us tremendous strength and national security. Go ahead, Scott.
Yes, sir. And the AAPL power you used on the tariffs, as you said, we're bringing in tens of trillions of investments. The tens of trillions of investments
Meta's getting back up
into
to open.
Factories construction, which turns into factory
The premium's
jobs,
jacked
which
up
turns
a
into
lot
consumer
already.
Spending. You've right-sized the government, so government employment is down. Private sector is up. Growth was a stunning 4.7%, 4.8% in the past 2 quarters. biggest back-to-back gains in a decade, and we are doing that with government finances improving. So that will bring down the borrowing costs, the calendar year budget for 2024, 7% deficit to GDP, highest when we weren't at war, not in a recession, all the way down to 5.4% and getting better. Biggest decline since 2014. Generational gains in productivity, soaring productivity. We're going to lift workers' pay, record high prices, record high profits, and stock prices are soaring. You got a manufacturing renaissance, and all the key inflation metrics are trending lower. Over the past 3 months, the consumer price index is just 2.1, and core prices are even lower at 1.6, and I think that could trend below 1, given energy, as you talked about, the pharmaceutical discounts, and rents. So we're expecting a great year in 2026, Mr. President.
And we're going to be announcing next week, I think sometime, Scott and Howard and everybody, we're going to be announcing the head of the Fed, who that will be. And it'll be a person that will, I think, do a good job. We're paying far too much interest in the Fed. The Fed rate's too high, unacceptably high. We should have the lowest, and I think you read my statement today. I put out a statement before the meeting, but we should have the lowest interest rate anywhere in the world, because a lot of these countries are successful only because of us, because we allow them to have surpluses. And without surpluses, some of the countries that you most respect financially, that you say, oh, this one, that one, this one, that one, they're successful because we allow them to have surpluses. And we could easily stop that with the powers that we have, but we don't. We took some of it, but we took really just a small portion of it compared to what we could take if we wanted to. We should have the lowest interest rate anywhere in the world. They should be 2 points and even 3 points lower. And if it was, each point is the equivalent of, I would say, $500 billion. So if you got 2 points low, you have $1 trillion in saving, and it's almost, if you call it just a paper expense. You can do it with a pencil. It's not cutting. It's not saying we have to get rid of jobs, or it's just like literally so easy to do. But we have a guy that doesn't want to do it because he's, I think he's politically biased. I really do. I believe he's politically biased, because most smart people say it's not even a question. But despite that, we were able to bust through. It's like busting through a wall. We're able to bust through a wall, and we have the kind of numbers that Scott and Howard with the steel and other things talk about. What would you say, Howard, in terms of how we're doing, generally speaking? Great businessman, very successful guy. He's doing a really good job. What would you say?
Well, no one, before you walked in the door, no one thought our economy could grow 2%. Fourth quarter, with the shutdown, 5.5%, and that means the first quarter you could see the United States of America, with its $30 trillion economy, grow in the 6% range, and no one thought that was possible. That's how you get jobs, that's how you get money down, that's how you fix the deficit. You are fixing everything with your policies. You have changed America and created the golden age.
Thank you. And with the help of the Fed, because we really, we want help, not hindrance. Why would the Fed hinder? But with the help of the Fed, with the right choice, if we make the right choice, a lot of times you make a choice, you think it's good, and it turns out to be not good. But with the help of the Fed, we could hit numbers that have never been hit before. We could hit 8, 9, 10. There's no reason why not. And, I talk about, if you go back 20 years, 25 years, I'm old enough to remember, when we had good news, when you announced good news, the stock market went up. You announce anything good, the stock market went up. You announce bad, the stock market went up. And that's the way it should be. But now it's, over the last 15 or so years, if you announce good news, that means they're going to raise interest rates because they want to kill it. So you can never really be that successful, because you announce all record numbers, great, because they're afraid of inflation. But growth doesn't have to have any impact on inflation. It can make inflation go down in many cases. So, and you've seen that with us. I mean, we're growing at a much faster rate than anybody thought was possible. We have very controllable inflation. With Biden, we were getting killed, and we had the worst inflation in 48 years in history, in the history of our country. And that's with going down. So growth is a great thing. It doesn't mean inflation. And I want to go back to a system where when we announce good news, they say that's great. We can lower interest rates instead of raise interest rates. And by the way, if inflation comes, we'll take care of it when it comes. But you know, they're trying to guess it, and they're trying to get it 10 years before in advance. And you know, we want to make this country greater than ever before, and I think we're doing that. But we want to make it that when we announce great news, everything goes up. If we announce bad news, that happens too. We bring it down, and we control, and we do what we have to do. But we can have numbers in the upside like nobody's ever seen before. I want to ask Bobby to say a few words, if he would, about some of the incredible things that we've been doing in your department with Oz and everybody else.
Mr. President, we're in the process of implementing your great healthcare bill, which is going to increase affordability, drive down costs, and increase the quality of healthcare for every American. You mentioned MFN, Most Favored Nation. We now have agreements with 16 of the 17 drug companies. And you asked us to do something, you know, Clinton had promised to do this, Biden had promised to do this, Obama, Bush had all promised to do it, none of them succeeded. It was regarded as impossible, and you made it 10 times harder. As you said, not only do I want MFN, but I want them to all reshore their production to this country. And they don't have any money to do it because we've taken it all from them. And I want to make sure we continue to lead the world in innovation. We succeeded in all of those goals, and the proof that we did that is after we signed those agreements, the stock prices for those companies went up $1.3 trillion.
Amazing.
And they are reshoring. Eli Lilly is building 6 new plants, including an API plant. So the next time that we have a pandemic in this country, we're not going to be stuck buying API from China, who cuts us off. We're going to be able to make it right here. Novo Nordisk is building 4 new plants, and we are going to be releasing Trump RX so that every American can get the lowest prices in the developed world. In some cases, they're going to be lower than the lowest prices.
GDRX never moves off this shit.
And that's going to be happening sometime, probably in the next 10 days. So we're doing rural health care. We sent out $10 billion last week. The states have that money. They're going to be giving it to rural hospitals sometimes in the next 2 weeks. And we're going to revolutionize rural health care in this country. You are raising the influx of federal dollars to rural health care by 30% over the next 5 years. So 30% every year, more dollars, federal dollars, are going to be flowing to them. It's going to allow them to rebuild their decaying infrastructure, to retain providers, and also to revolutionize the use of AI and other technologies, which is going to dramatically lower the prices for rural Americans and raise the quality of their health care. Brooke and I released the dietary guidelines, which have been received incredible acclamation from both sides of the aisle. We are going to change the food culture in this country. Brooke gives away $405 million a day to buy food for Americans in the WIC program, the Head Start program, SNAP, school lunches, the VA, and the military. They're now going to be getting real food for the first time. And Brooke came up with the ingenious idea of requiring every store in this country that accepts food stamps to double the amount of real food that they're selling. And this is going to drive changes in the market, and it's going to lower the cost of meats, of proteins, of whole grains, of fruits and vegetables, so that every American will have in their reach an affordable meal that actually is real food. 70% of American kids now are, 70% of the diet of American kids is now ultra-processed foods. That's why we're spending $5 trillion in treating chronic disease in this country every year. We are attacking fraud. We have Oz finding hundreds of billions of dollars of Medicaid, Medicare fraud in states like Minnesota and California, and we are clawing back that money. We also accomplished something that every American has promised, which is prior authorization. Now we have 80% of the insurance industry that has agreed to eliminate prior authorization in almost all of their procedures. So that every admits this is going to dramatically change the experience of every American with healthcare system. When you go to your doctor at your point of care, before you leave that office, you will know whether the insurance company is going to pay for the procedure or not. And that is going to, as I said, change the experience. We're also doing price transparency, which you asked during your first term. It never got implemented because the Biden administration never enforced it. We brought more enforcement actions against hospitals than in this 1 year, and the Biden administration brought in 4 years, and we're doing a crackdown so that every American, when you go to a restaurant, you look at the prices before you buy the meal. You ought to be able to do that when you go to a hospital, and by the time that we leave office, every American is going to have that guarantee. We're doing a lot of other stuff, but we were told to keep it short. So.
And the autism that's moving along, really, is that?
We've commissioned now dozens of studies, maybe over 100, and we are going to get those done for you.
Good. That's so important. Also, Eli Lilly, Merck, Pfizer, every drug company, they're spending trillions of dollars right now, as we speak, building plants in the United States because they want to be able to save a lot of money on tariffs. It'll be hundreds of percent, 100%, 200%, 300% in 2 or 3 years from now. So I said, you better have your plant built because in 2 years from now, before I leave office, it'll be a sad day. Very sad day for me. But before I leave, every one of these plants better be built because you're going to be paying 300% tariffs. And they're all building their little hearts out. I spoke with the head of Eli Lilly, who's a fantastic guy, a star, actually. He's a star, very smart. And he told me he's building 6 plants in the United States, big ones, in locations that I know very well, but all over the country. Merck is building, and Pfizer's building, and every one of them's building, and foreign companies are building. So it's an amazing thing that's happening, and you're doing a fantastic job. I read an article today where they think Bobby is going to be really great for the Republican Party in the midterms. So I have to be very careful that Bobby likes us. But we'll let you do your job, right?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. You're doing a great job. You and Oz and the whole group, they're doing a...
I'll add this, and Marty McCary has done an incredible job at FDA.
That's true.
Last month, we approved more gene and cell therapies than any time in history. And we're making this a safe and productive and encouraging ecosystem for biotech so that China does not steal that industry from us.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask Scott Turner to speak really quickly about housing because, in my opinion, I have very strong opinions on housing. That's what I did for a long time. I did good with it. But, you know, we got to get interest rates down even lower. They are now pretty low, but we got to get them lower. And I'm a big factor, to me, the biggest factor is interest rates for housing. Only in that, you know, you have a lot of people that have become wealthy in the last year because their house value has gone up. And, you know, when you get the housing, when you make it too easy and too cheap to buy houses, those values come down. I don't want those values to come down. We have millions of people that own houses, and for the first time in their life, they're wealthy because their house is worth $500,000 or $600,000 or more or less, but more money than it's ever been worth before. I don't want to do anything to knock that down, and so I want to be very careful with this. You know, you make housing, I can turn on housing immediately, but you make it too easy and you're going to knock the value down of people that own houses. I want to, for those people, those millions of people that own houses, we're going to drive those values up, but we're also going to try making it easier for people to buy. The best thing that can happen for both groups of people is lower interest rates, and those interest rates are coming down, and with a proper, intelligent person at the Fed, that person will be able to work with us to get interest rates down. That covers all of the sins. It covers everything. Lower interest rates keeps the values up for the people that have housing and lets other people buy housing. And Scott, if you could just expand quickly on that.
Yes, sir. You did allude to when we first came in, sir, you know, our fiscal house in America was a mess. But because of your economic policies, the economy is thriving. And I do have some good news to share. As you said, good news. I hope this will make the interest rates continue to go down. But because of your policy, sir, home sales in December, they rose sharply to their strongest pace in 3 years. A lot of people, when we first came in particular young people, were concerned and asking the question whether they would ever be able to afford to buy a house in America, which is the American dream. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate dipped to a multi-year lows, driving monthly payments down for the 2 years at the lowest levels. So more people can get a mortgage now, more families can be able to afford to get a home and achieve the American dream. At HUD last year, we helped and supported over 1 million people through FHA and Ginnie Mae to be able to buy a home. 500,000 of those were first-time home buyers, and hundreds of thousands of our veterans we supported. And so that's good news that millions of people in our country are now beginning to buy homes. We also, sir, saw that you are, and we're working with you, making bold action to ban institutional investors from buying single-family homes. Those homes are for the American people. So, sir, thank you for your leadership on that. Also working with Director Pulte over at FHFA to buy $200 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities, driving down even more the cost to get a home. And so we're grateful for those actions. Also, the One Big Beautiful Bill has been tremendous, making the low-income tax credit increase, working with Secretary Bessent at Treasury to produce more projects and more homes in America. And the One Big Beautiful Bill also made our beloved opportunity zones permanent. And the media doesn't talk about opportunity zones very much, but I'll do it today because I know that they have been transformative in our country. Over 1 million people lifted out of poverty, sir, in opportunity zones, 300,000 new units of housing in opportunity zones, and a 3.4 increase in the value of houses.
By the way, we have to give him credit. Senator, he's a great guy. Tim Scott came to see me, first administration, first term, and he had this idea for opportunity zones, and he gave me the idea. We did it. We implemented it. It's one of the most successful programs in the history of our country, and nobody talks about it. The press doesn't talk about it, but I want to just tell you, Tim Scott, Senator, South Carolina, did a great job, right?
Did a wonderful job, yes, sir.
Did a good job. He's a good man.
Yes, sir. And so those have been made permanent now. Will help millions of Americans to be able to afford to buy homes. Also, the One Big Beautiful Bill has been allowing HUD to make sure, working with Department of Homeland Security, that every person that lives in HUD-funded housing is an American citizen. A blind eye has been turned prior to us being here to people living in HUD-funded housing, but no more. We're going to take account and transparency to make sure. And so there's a lot of crime that goes on in public housing, but we're coming after the criminals and making sure that everybody in there is an American citizen. So thank you for your support. We have taken possession of our new building in Alexandria, and we're going to save the American taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. So, sir, thank you for your support and your leadership.
Thank you, Scott. Great job. Appreciate it. One of the things Scott said, though, is, again, existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people. And I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen. Chris, could you say a few words about energy, please?
You bet, Mr. President. I can say with confidence that your energy dominance agenda is firing on all cylinders. United States oil production today is greater than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined, the number 2 and number 3 producers. Our natural gas production today is greater than Russia, China, and Iran combined, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th largest natural gas producers. Huge production in the United States. Secretary Burgum at the Interior Department has taken in more money on oil and gas lease sales in the first year of this administration than the entire 4 years of the Biden administration. And beyond oil and gas, 6 new coal leases under this first year of this administration from the Interior Department, and coal production is growing again in the United States after years of decline. And this beautiful clean coal was the MVP of the huge cold snap we're in right now. I can say with some confidence, hundreds of American lives have been saved because of your leaning in and stopping the killing of coal and revitalizing coal. Coal, over the last few days, where we're at peak demand in electricity, has delivered 20 times more electricity than solar and batteries. Think about that, 20 times more.
In industry, coal doesn't mind very cold weather, right? Clean, you're not allowed to say the word coal without proceeding by saying clean, beautiful coal. Clean, beautiful coal. It's not affected by bad weather. Rain, snow, sleet, freezing cold. How does it react under freezing cold weather?
It steps up and delivers big time. In fact, what coal did during this storm was deliver massively more electricity than it was delivering a month ago, because we needed far more electricity. Who can step up?
The windmills, by the way, are all frozen. You know that they don't turn. The windmills aren't turning. The windmills that these fools paid for. The fool is this country, because the people that have the windmills get massive subsidy, and they make a fortune on windmills that don't even work, and they don't produce anywhere near what they should be. And it's the worst, most expensive form of energy there is. And by the way, Europe is destroying itself with the stupid windmills they're putting all over their beautiful areas of most magnificent landscapes in the world, and they're just destroying. Europe better get smart. Between immigration and energy, they're destroying. It's not recognizable. They've got to smarten up before it's too late. Please go ahead.
Yeah, in New England, with somewhat European energy policies, at peak demand time, very cold in New England, wind, solar, and batteries that you were just speaking of delivered less than 3% of the electricity needed at peak demand time, and that's when it matters. Because if electricity goes out when it's very cold, people die. Over 200 people died in a smaller cold snap during the Biden administration. This was massively larger geographically. We've had no failure of the electricity grid, no failure of long distance transmission lines. Local distribution lines have iced up and come down, and we have people from all over the country working to get those back up because people need their lights back on. But your energy policies delivered just a dramatically different outcome for the American people. If we'd continued the Biden-era policies for one more year, continued to shut down coal plants, continued these crazy climate restrictions that wouldn't even let power plants run at maximum demand time, we hadn't liberated all the backup generators that are sitting there. We gave up an emergency approval,
so a lot
run
of
everything.
Plants that were going to close, coal plants that were modern and good and threw off very little problem, and that were really powerful. You know, by the way, China does most of everything they're doing with coal. Not that we want to copy anybody, but you know, they make the windmills, but they don't have a lot of wind farms. Somebody ought to look at that. How many wind farms do they have? Very, very few. They make them, they sell them, they make a fortune, but they don't use them. So the coal, I mean, I understand they're using it also as a great backup. So you build a plant, but they have it as a backup in case of tragedy, in case of really bad weather, et cetera, et cetera. They actually store coal on the site of other plants.
Yeah, I went to go poop. My bad.
Emergency energy.
Yeah.
The coal is always going to be there, whereas other things
all the
aren't.
Apple and Meta came back. Those are your
Exactly.
biggest
Coal
movers.
just
low-key.
stepped up
Got
here
a couple
to
other small
25%
names.
of our electricity during this
Do a
high
push-up,
demand
too.
time. Natural gas, coal, and nuclear. They are what run the American electricity grid. The others are ornaments and often expensive
And you
ornaments.
stopped plants from being demolished, right?
17 gigawatts of coal generation plants were slated to close last year that were stopped from being closure by this
And if
administration.
they were closed, we would be really tight on energy.
We would have had significant blackouts at these peak cold times, and extrapolating from the last storm during the Biden administration, I think at least hundreds of deaths. Because in the South, a lot of heating is done with electricity generation. If those grids go down, people die. So these, and when you're going back to the Working Families Tax Cut Act, or the One Big Beautiful Bill, that got rid of $500 billion of subsidies, energy subsidies, that do nothing but make energy more expensive and less reliable. And under this administration, we've spent massively less on energy, and we've delivered massively more on energy. and when you have more energy of lower prices.
It's a fantastic job. You and Doug. Doug said, you got to get this guy, Doug. You got to get this guy, Chris, Wright, and get him as soon as you can. I said, but I want you to run energy. He said, well, I'm good at it, but he's better, right? Didn't you tell me that? So I gave him the land, I gave you the energy, right? And it's a great combination. I mean, they literally have, I said, maybe we'll merge it in some way. They said, we don't have to. We get along. They work together, right, with the land. He's got the land and the energy. He's got the knowledge to take it out. It's been a good combination.
This administration, the whole administration, and your leadership has been very focused on energy, because we can push down energy prices, we can lower costs on Americans, and we can raise wages by bringing jobs and opportunities here. It is a transformation of American energy. Thanks for your leadership.
He's one of the most respected people in the energy world. And Doug told me about Chris Wright. They said, if you could get him, what he gave up to do this job, you're making a little less money, but that's all right. You don't care. What you're doing is fantastic. But he said he's the best in the world. Other people have told me that. The heads of the biggest companies have told me that. And it's really panning out to be so. We appreciate it very much. It's great. One of the things we're doing with energy, I think that's so important. We have an old grid, been around a long time, and not really, can't be much expanded. Can be fixed up a little bit, but can't be much expanded. And we have some plants that are so big that the grid would never be able to hold it. We're allowing them to build a electric producing plant, mostly electric, but they can use nuclear to do it, they can use oil and gas, they can use coal, they can use whatever they want. I think many are choosing oil and gas because it's there, it's tried, it's true, it's plentiful, it's inexpensive. Some are going nuclear, some are going both, many are going all three. But the plants, you read, well, how do we ever fire those plants? Because to do this, we need 2 times the electricity we produce in 1 year for the entire country, which is almost hard to believe. These buildings are so big. They're going up now. So I did something that nobody thought was possible also. When they build their building, they build their own electric generating plants. And we are seeing some of the most incredible designs you've ever seen. So we don't need the grid. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal saying, oh, we're falling behind China. We're not actually. We're leading everybody because I'm letting them build. The government would never be able to do that. Now, China's a different kind. They build, they do things that you got to hand it to them. President Xi, they build vast amounts of energy. They don't have certain constraints that we have in this country, but we're more than topping them. We're leading China by a lot on AI, and it's primarily because I'm allowing them to build with their plant their own electricity. If they had to rely on the grid, they wouldn't have any power. You wouldn't have any power for anything. And they're building the electricity. And one of the reasons I'm able to do that is we have a very capable man in the room named Lee Zeldin. He may be in the room someplace. Is it his normal place? He's there. He's always there. Most reliable, solid guy. And he's done an amazing job. Could you just explain that? And also, because of the fact he's so good, California has a problem. The hardest permit to get when they lost 25,000 or so houses, which shouldn't have been lost, they should have allowed the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, which was very plentiful. But they didn't do that. They lost 25,000 houses. Lee and his team gave them the most complicated permit within 20 days. Everybody, every single house that burned down got the federal approval. Unfortunately, it's well over a year. And the state and the city, that's Gavin Newsom, and the city, the mayor who's grossly incompetent, by the way, they have been unable to give permits. There are like 3 houses being built out of thousands and thousands. They have no permits. So I read about a week ago that it's possible because of what's happened, whether you declare national emergency or something, these people are they're dying to build their house. They want to do something that I could put somebody in charge from the federal government. Congratulations, Lee. And I'm putting Lee Zeldin in charge of getting them their permits, city, federal. You have the federal, you need the city and state, and I hear you have great powers over them if we want, and we're going to give you that power. We've already given you that power. So Lee Zeldin is going to work with the thousands of people that are dying to build their house. And I also recommend one other thing. Give them the house plus a 10% bonus. In other words, you get a bonus, you can build your house 10% larger. They've suffered so greatly. They've waited so long. and they should be given a bonus. So I think, and I've heard this has been done before, they get a 10% bonus. They can build a house that's a little bit larger than what they had before. And I'd like to have you take it over.
Mr. President, your great Secretary of State was looking for another job. So.
I was thinking about him, but he's pretty well booked. I watched him yesterday. He did a great job yesterday, but he's a little booked up. Let's go, Lee. Talk. No more ideas like that, Lee.
When President Trump came into office, he immediately signed an executive order giving EPA 30 days to complete our Phase 1 hazardous material removal, so that the Army Corps can come in and complete their Phase 2 debris removal. So at first the response was that was going to be impossible. Good luck trying to get it done maybe by the summer, but we figured it out because operating at Trump speed, the president was just sworn in, we had to get it done, and we got it done in less than 30 days. The Army Corps then came in and completed the debris removal. So the federal government, while the governor has tried to accuse this president of not focusing with a laser on putting all of the weight of the federal government into getting this done, it happened from the moment he was sworn into office. SBA came in. I think it was about half of the disaster loan money, billions of dollars from last year went towards these residents and businesses. So the full weight of this government. But right after I was sworn in, which was actually a year ago today, my first trip was to East Palestine because the vice president never forgets his home state. The second trip was going to Los Angeles. There were people with contractors all over Palisades and Eaton ready to rebuild right then and there. You're talking about a year ago. And now the frustration, the passion that we all hear from all of these Los Angeles residents, and President Trump, he's made it clear to us that he's heard enough. And the message should be heard loud and clear to that local leadership. They should be motivated listening to this right now. And when this cabinet meeting is over, if it hasn't been done already, is that they need to go into the office where these permits are just laying around, flip over tables if you have to, fire people if you have to, and get all of these approvals done so that people can rebuild their lives. It's been a year, and this president has had enough.
So whatever you can do, that's going to be very important. And it's so sad, those people, we were there a few days after the fire, you were there with me, we were walking down the streets. The people are devastated. The love that they had for that property was, everybody was going to rebuild, and they thought they could do it immediately. They should have. We gave it to them so quickly, but they can't get their permits. They still can't build, and they're losing spirit too. I mean, a lot of people are losing spirit. And the other thing I'd like to talk to you about and other people about that happen to be sitting around the table. They want to build a low-income housing project right in the middle of everything in Palisades. And I'm not going to allow it to happen, okay? I mean, maybe it's politically correct, maybe it's not. I'm not going to let these people destroy the value of their houses. I built a lot of low-income housing. I made a lot of money building low-income housing. I know more about it than anybody. We're not going to allow this guy to build a low-income housing project on top of everything else in the middle of that mess that was created by the fact that they didn't allow water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, okay?
No more market watch? What do you mean, bro? We're here.
I'd like you to have that stopped and stopped immediately. No financing. That might be you, Scott, because they'll come to you for financing. It's never going to be approved. You would never, but Scott thought it was a horrible thing. So there's going to be no financing for low-income housing. Let the people build their houses, and as fast as you can, help them, help the mayor and help the governor get their permitting done, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But yeah, bro, anybody want to trade me land for silver?
I think you were just alluded to.
I want to trade a liquid for a liquid.
Yes, Mr. President, thanks to your leadership, you also helped put the fires out. Your executive order got water to the scene in your earliest days of your presidency. So you've been there from day one. We've been out there twice now. There had been no changes until your executive order this week that is allowing that permitting to happen quickly. We have 16,000 structures burned. We have put loans out on 12,000 of them for $3.2 billion. More than half of all the disaster money delivered in America went to that area. Now, because of the abject leadership, the failures of Gavin Newsom, they have not been able to rebuild. Because of your leadership, they're going to be able to rebuild. But that's not all you've done.
They'll take the credit for it. Watch. It'll start, and they'll take the credit. Look at the great job we did. They would never, it wouldn't get built in 20 years. And it will be destroyed by building low-income housing next to luxury housing. History says that doesn't work too well.
Dude,
Go
they
ahead.
did that at this property in San Diego. One of the ones I sold,
leadership,
it was bad.
At least 8 wars.
Because they built these like crazy properties, and then they built
underreported
like
war that
triple
this
the amount of
president
like
ended was Joe Biden and the Democrats'
affordable
war on
housing
Main
units
Street
with like
and
a cap,
hardworking families.
and it fucked a lot of the
We've
people
seen
there.
it as I've gone across the country this month, 10 different states, and we saw it when we were together in Iowa.
It's just a weird dynamic.
Hardworking families, farmers, small businesses expressing gratitude, lined up to
That
thank
Cat
you.
X thing is still
I was out
going.
with our great vice president last week in Toledo, Ohio. They are thanking this administration for getting Main Street back. The Trump tax cuts, the tariffs, deregulation, it's all rocket fuel for hardworking families and Main Streets. And I see it whether it's talking about small business expensing 100% accelerated from Made in America factories, the 20% pass-through, but it's also working families where they have expanded child tax credits, increased standard deductions, permanent low-income tax rates, health savings accounts, Trump accounts. This president is delivering for Main Street. It's the most underreported story in this country. And I see it in Main Street businesses. All-time small business confidence hit a record under this president last year after the Trump tax cuts. All-time small business formation now at 36 million small businesses and a record $100 billion out from SBA because a record number of people want to invest in this country and hire. And whether I've talked to manufacturers about tariffs, they know that this president is bringing manufacturing back, just like Prince Manufacturing in Macon, Georgia. 500 employees machining parts for our defense, our agriculture, our automotive, our aerospace industry. They're going to hire 500 more people this year because of tariffs, because of the Trump tax cuts, and because of SBA lending. And I see this state after state as I've gone across the country, talked to hundreds of business owners, walked dozens of factory floors. This is not being covered, but it's going on in America. The number one problem is they need skilled workers. And this is something I'm working on with Secretary Chavez-Jurimer. I'm working across the administration to ensure that we empower our small businesses.
It increases property value if it works out well. So pretty much, there's this neighborhood in San Diego, and they built like both like affordable condos, like below $1 million, and then they built these like multi-million-dollar houses. But then they built about double or triple the amount of like affordable housing, rent cap, all of that shit. And then pretty much people started like parking broken cars on the street, started getting packed in traffic, and then turned into noise complaints. They didn't vibe well with each other. And then it ended up fucking the resale values. And then pretty much, they took over.
Because this is what our administration is doing, is powering your incredible economic agenda forward on Main Street.
Thank you very much. Great job. I do want to say that on my left I have a man who's doing a fantastic job, and on my right also. But we're spending a tremendous amount of time and effort on building our military. We largely rebuilt the military during my first term, fortunately, and we're greatly enhancing it now. We're going to be doing something new. We're bringing back the battleship, and I thought, like you remember the battleships from the great Iowa, Alabama, Missouri, those unbelievable scenes that you see, Victory at Sea. You'd see these incredible ships, and I thought they were powerful, but the battleships that we're building are going to be 100 times more powerful than those beautiful works of art. I mean, they were magnificent. All steel. We have the steel now, and we're going to be doing that as an enhancement. But our military is very, very strong. You may want to say something about the large fleet of ships that's heading over to the Middle East.
Well, Mr. President, you had to, like so many other cabinet members have referenced, rebuild the perception of America. And at the Department of War, that meant reestablishing deterrence. What happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Ukraine, a war that never would have occurred, what happened on October 7th in Israel, never would have happened under President Trump. So as a result, we're having to rebuild how our enemies perceive us. And when President Trump said, we're not getting a nuclear, Iran, you won't have a nuclear bomb, he meant it. And we sent those B-2s halfway around the world, and they never noticed. When he said, we're not going to tolerate trafficking drugs anymore in our hemisphere, We treat them like the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere. He meant it, and we're executing that. When you said, Mr. President, we're securing the border, the military was proud to do their part alongside Homeland Security to do that. Same thing with Iran right now, ensuring that they have all the options to make a deal. They should not pursue nuclear capabilities, and we will be prepared to deliver whatever this president expects of the War Department, just like we did this month. No other military in the world could have executed the most sophisticated, powerful raid, not just in American history, I would say in world history. What those men did going downtown, another country, the most secure place in the most secure base in the middle of the night,
cost a lot
without anybody knowing until those simultaneous bombs dropped 3 minutes before the
I don't really
helicopters
like
dropped.
land. I'd only
No other
trade
country
for
could coordinate
silver,
that. No
depending
other
on what it
president
is.
would have been willing to empower
some
those
liquidity.
warriors that way to be that effective.
But I'm usually
and that sends
not
a
the
message
biggest
to
fan of
every
just buying
capital
land.
around the world that when President Trump speaks, he means business, and we are reestablishing deterrence at the War Department, Mr. President.
Thank you. Great job you're doing. Just to finish up on that,
Microsoft
Somalian
denied it.
pirates
They said it was
over
an
the years
engagement was simply a
pirated,
standard customer
stolen
program.
many
That's
ships.
terrible. Remember, that's what
and
drove
we
it up
get
40% the
large
other day.
amounts of money for the ship. You know, you have $1 billion ship, and the insurance companies didn't want to fight because, you know, some of those ships are very flammable. They're carrying millions of barrels of oil. Very flammable, very dangerous situation if they're shot at. So they wouldn't fight. We notified them a number of months ago. Anybody that does that gets the same treatment as a drug dealer sending their drugs in from Venezuela or anybody else. As you know, it's 97% down by water. So the drugs coming in by sea or by water is down 97%. Now we're also starting. That was the more difficult route. Now we're starting to do that by land also. It will be, you'll see that happen as they come in and kill our people with drugs. I think the real number is 300,000 people a year, not 100, but whatever it is, it's a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people. They're going to get hit. But also we added to the list the Somalian pirates that go out on a boat, similar type boat. Actually, not quite as fast, not quite as nice as you can imagine, but they get the same missile that we give to the people that are bringing drugs. And so far, we haven't seen anybody going out. So the traffic is not being interfered with by people pirating our ships. Not our ships, ships all over the world. I said, make it for any country. We're doing the rest of the world a favor. It's a very effective favor, but we see very little pirating nowadays. You used to have ships being taken every single, like 2 or 3 a week, these massive ships that be brought in to some place in Somalia, which I don't even know is it a country. We have Ilhan Omar left, and then she gives us lectures on the Constitution of the United States. These people are, what they've done to rip off our country
Watch
is
oil.
terrible, but the pirating has essentially
He's
stopped.
talking
They know
about
that
this.
if
It's hitting
anybody
on
even
the
makes a
all
move
with the
toward a
Iran
ship,
and ships
they
going
get,
in the Middle East and Bitcoin
the
going
ultimate
lower.
treatment. They will go to wherever they
Again,
want
Meta
to go,
held up, but it
but
seems
it's
like everything
probably
else
not
is
gonna
coming
be to
back
heaven.
down. Look at the low ticker.
I can't imagine, but they get hit very hard, just like a drug dealer, just like the boats, the ships that are coming in. Every boat that comes in with drugs on it that we take out, we just saved 25,000 American lives. Each boat is the equivalent of saving 25,000 American, mostly American, but American lives. So I just wanted to let you know that, and Pete's been totally authorized to do that, and they know it's going to happen, and it seems that all of that brisk business that they had has been stopped in its right in its foot. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. My cabinet has been amazing. I like this much better than going around for 3 hours. We'll pick on other ones. Pam,
I need to
you're
go
doing
pee,
great.
though.
We're all doing great.
Why do they call it
Ziggy, if you'd
defense
like
when
to
it's
say
mostly
something, you
offense?
can.
Come on, rookie question.
He is, after all,
The best offense is a great defense.
It's okay, sir. I'm here for the free coffee. I just say it's an honor to serve with this group, and we're doing a lot of good for the American people. We're very proud of it.
Yeah, we're very proud of the country. We're very proud of you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Mr. President, why not take questions?
Mr. President, why not take I'm frustrated with ICE, Mr. President. I've been already. Mr. President, why did gold go down 5%? Mr. President, how late is Powell, Mr. President? All right. JD was there the whole time. Yeah, he was there. All right, well, that was, I mean, it chilled the market out for a little bit, but yeah, man, a little bit of AI fears today with Microsoft, a massive move on gold and silver, and then Meta came back a little bit. That was like the only normal moving thing. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, man, it's good to be back. I was here the whole time. I told you, I took a dump. I'm not going to lie to you. I need to go pee, though, again, so, you know, like after you go to the bathroom, I don't want to get too into it with you guys, but, so give me a second. And then you guys know it's almost Philo time. Oh, they're still playing this on Bloomberg?
Yes. I mean, everybody benefits.
Yeah, Bloomberg's been running this too. They're like, fuck it, man. We don't know how to explain why 39% growth is AI fears.
10 years below 423.
All right, give me a second.
Now, Microsoft and the software names, the likes of Salesforce and ServiceNow, those are leading the declines today. The IGV ETF is down 6%. Microsoft is down almost 12% for its worst day in more than 5 years. A hat tip to the trader who's been messaging me for weeks saying the stock was acting like a miss was coming. It certainly was. I don't know if it's a miss, but it's continuing to act like there's a real problem in the growth trajectory here. Bear market territory for the IGV ETF, by the way. We're down 20% from the recent highs. On the flip side, social media is a standout, with Meta jumping on a big revenue and guidance beat. It's up 9.5% now, and Apple is coming after the bell today. The shares are kind of a standstill into that print. We're also watching a big reversal in the metals trade this morning. After gold crossed 5,500 for the first time, we're back at 53.37 right now. But copper has levitated. It's now surging to a new high, up 5% to its best day in more than 17 years. So let's begin with the outperformer, Meta. The shares are up 8% on a big revenue and guidance beat. The move higher despite big CapEx spending plans that could total $135 billion this year. But my next guest says the results prove the spend is justified. He said buy into the print earlier this week, and he just upped his target today to 1,000 from 910. That makes him one of the highest on the street. Let's bring in Brent Thill, Jefferies tech sector research analyst. Brent, a hat tip to you, and this goes back to what we were saying yesterday. It doesn't have to be that the shares are strong if they pull in
doing research.
CapEx.
I feel, bro. I was looking at the tech. I don't, man. You want me to give you another hint? I'll give you a hint on the tech stock that I wanted. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It has a forward PE of 197. That's how. So I don't know, man. I don't know. At that point, I might as well just start doing drugs again. Now that I think about it. NVIDIA and Mercedes in advanced talks for robo-taxis. Oh, dude, little Maybach robo-taxi, dude. Oh, dude, little NVIDIA Maybach, dude. I got a fucking Maybach, dude. I got a back seat, dude. I got recliners and a fucking Blackwell, dude. Fucking NVIDIA Blackwell, dude. Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes Blackwell. Oh, dude. Yeah, what do you think, dude? Fucking rolling, dude. Oh, GDRX did just fucking launch. Again, this always... Remember, during that speech, they were saying that... But I hate this one, bro. I think this one's cursed. There's a cheap one. I'll leave it for you because I'm not going to deal with these curses. But that's all you. Copper. Did copper levitate? ICOP. CPER. It's still up on the day. Pretty good. And Palantir. What about Palantir? Moving up a little bit. Never touching it again. It's cursed, dude. I'm telling you. I don't know if you feel, bro, like it looks so good every time. Every time, bro. It'll get the right news. It'll have everything, and it's just fucking terrible. But yeah. Oh, Palantir is your guess? Oh, no. It's not Palantir. You guys know I bought Palantir at $10. You know that? I had somebody thank me the other day. I remember talking to this person back in, I think it was 2016. And I met them, or no, 2018. And they were really big on Bitcoin. They were one of the only people that like fucked with me on Bitcoin. And I was like, fuck yeah, Bitcoin. And I was like, yeah, like Bitcoin's dope. This was back in the day. And they were all about it. I'm pretty sure they went a little crazy with it. I'm pretty sure they would put like half of their paycheck into Bitcoin. And they were really like, they were down with it. That's why maybe they liked me. And then I talked to him the other day, and I was like, yeah, man, you held it down with Bitcoin. I hope it rewarded you. And they were like, it did, But also, when you bought Palantir at $10, I've been holding. I said, what? I said, you got in on that? So yeah, bro, some of you, I think Tim got Palantir in the long term still. I think a lot of you guys still got it if you held on to it. I just took a fucking tax loss like a dickhead. I was up on it, but it was down for that year. But I was like, you know what, let me get some back. But nah, it was a good year, but then a bad year when I look back at it. It was very good trading wise, but then I took some of these plays for tax losses and I was bleh. So yeah, that's what you do with your paycheck. You buy Bitcoin, half of it. You know you're like a modern day boomer, right? Because that's what they did. They would buy gold and silver. But there's just a period. What do you buy when you buy Bitcoin? There has to come in threes. Because like when I bought gold and silver, I was buying gold, silver, water, and bullets. It's just a different era, you guys. It's a different era. And then I got Bitcoin too. I think I had the modern bridge, but still, man, it's crazy. But yeah, it's not Palantir. Palantir was the down payment on the new build. Amen, baby. Amen. Yo, and good shout out Cody, bro. He got a good crib. I'm excited. I was checking some emails. You know, there were some good ones. There were some very, very good ones. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. If it's not Palantir, I'm not gonna tell you guys because I don't want to buy it yet. I'm just getting ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I feel like going to Miami to soul search, but like it's not. I don't know if it's a good idea yet. The wisdom will arrive. But that's why, like, I mean, days like today, even the day after we bought Kimberly, you had the Greenland situation. Like, I don't mind these. I mean, I like the stability. I like stuff that's gonna do good, but we have a lot of time too. I don't even have a deposit, so I'm just getting you know, touching all bases. I'm thinking value. I'm thinking deep discounts. I'm thinking growth. I'm thinking everything. But ultimately, my portfolio says we could kind of pivot in either direction. And I mean, on one of them, it went up a lot. Yeah, no, bro, that was a good house. Like I said, you got to. You're going to probably need to do, like, update it. You don't need to if you like it. I don't know, like, when you go there, how the carpet looks and shit. It just looked a little old, but you got a good price after looking at it. I'm glad that you even got that extra $25K during escrow. That's amazing. So as long as you get that, like, the update, it's already above. You bought it below value, so you already got some equity there. That's why I think, like, nice floors. Maybe, the paint looks fine. That's it. You get slight updating. You could do it cheap, and it's a good size, bro. That's the part I really like about it, because I remember you were sending me those 900 square footers and shit, and like 1100. Like, those aren't bad, but like when it comes to resale, it's a little bit worse. Can you dabble some of the long term for renovations? You can see how you like it. See how it is living there. But also too, like, you might even just get good financing on renovations. Go fuck around with Home Depot and some other places, but I don't think using the long term would be the worst idea. But you can't renovate it like a fucking Nobu. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm thinking you could go nice and like affordable. Nice, affordable, don't overspend and fuck your equity up. Because like with that house, you would do kind of a Josh Answer special on that one. You get like good quality floors. Maybe you could do the lighting. Maybe do either one of the bathrooms. You could do quick stuff to update the kitchen. But like if you could keep that like under 20,000, 30,000 in repairs, I think the house already is around like the 330, 350. I think that's why I didn't sell at those. But the size, the comps, it's there. But I wouldn't go too crazy. But you can use the long term if need be. But see how you like it. See, because again, you're gonna live there, and like I've been telling people, if you're gonna live in it and be able to like, you know, keep it for a couple of years, that's how you're gonna really maximize your value and make sure this turns into a real equity builder. And you already got it with equity. That is the main intention about it. So I like it, and I'm very impressed you didn't have to use the long term. That's even better. What type of loan did you do? Did you do like a FHA, or did you do like a 10% down? And then somebody emailed me earlier. I don't know if you're here. Somebody emailed me about a house that they want to sell and buy another one. Coterra. That's related to the Devon one. Said to be remember, Didn't we see that one a couple of weeks ago? Isn't this like creating the big one? But yeah, that's 3%. Conventional, because there was multiple offers. Oh, no way. So how much are you putting down though? Yeah, remember we played that earlier? So it's actually a little bit above that price. Be careful. Yeah, yours, it's up to you, man, because, well, let me see it. I think you bought the house decently. But what are you going to get for it? But like the only problem, the new house you're buying, I don't know the address. If you send me the address, I could take a look, but what's the, why do you want that house? Is it a good deal? Because the only problem I have is you're about to sell a 2.7% mortgage. That's it. And then the house that you're going to get is going to be like double, almost triple the price. So that's good if you want to move into a bigger house, but like the payment, just because of even the principal and interest, is going to be larger, but mainly that interest is the thing. Like usually if you can pull it off, if like, you know, if that's why you're shopping and budgeting, because again, I don't know what the equity is on your home, but that interest, if you could keep the home, rent it out, because you could still, if you get that house rented, you could go to the lender and tell them that it's rented, and that won't count against your debt to income. And then if you do that, you could just go get a normal loan and buy the new house. That's what I would do personally. Why? Because I will not let anybody take a 2.7% mortgage away from me. I don't. Most people who have done that, it hasn't been a good idea. But again, it all really depends on how bad you want the other house. I would do it if the other house, like if you're getting the other house for couple $100,000 below market, then maybe you could justify the interest hit with immediate equity. But yeah, that's going to be up to you. A good square foot for houses, I mean, you just got to watch out for like the 900 to 1100 square foot houses, maybe even like 1300 square feet. They're not bad houses. Some areas have really expensive ones like that, but the problem is that they're just, the utility is very low. So a lot of times, especially when the market was hot, you probably noticed that, is that there was a lot of houses that were going for millions of dollars, but they were on the smaller end. But then like when it comes to resale, or if you ever have to compete with a slightly bigger home, they're going to go for the bigger one. There's like some that are just really, really small. So that's like 900 to 11. I kind of just don't like them. And that's why, like, I think it does limit you. It's like, this is like an objective fact when it comes to resale. Like, you're just going to be competing in a different space. And if you low inventory, people will buy it. But normal inventory, high inventory, those are going to be the last choice. Yeah, ups is going up. And the SPY chilled out a little bit there. I mean, again, we're not as bad as earlier. 1.3 on the NASDAQ. Again, I think at one point we were down 2.25. It was pretty ugly. It's projected at 1.3. What do you mean by projected? I don't like projections. What's the comps? Give me the comp, Habibi. Let me see. Are you an escrow on that house? They just listed it. They're asking double from 2019. The condition doesn't look too bad, to be honest. A little outdated, but it looks very charming, actually. My only problem is that's a 1-bathroom, but good land. How do you feel about the area? Looks like really good land, but yeah, I don't know how that stacks up on the acreage and like where the area is at. Let me see. Oh, it seems like a decent compared to the stuff around it. Like, you got new builds going for more. Well, that's pretty cheap comparative to the area. The only other house around that price is like a fucking mobile home near the city. There's one for 80K. That's an auction, though. I just don't like the bathroom. But that has big land. If you could build another unit, I don't know. You're going to have to put money into it. That's the thing. It seems like it's a fair price, though. At least for that area, you can't get anything around there for below 200. Again, the size, it's still kind of small, but you get good land. But like I'm saying, that 3-bedroom, 1-bath, that's what's going to kill you. But if you add another bathroom, I think you'll get like 250, 300 based on some of these. But then a lot of these houses, it's a small town, it looks like. I don't know the area. So I'm just eyeballing it right now. If you add a room, it's good. Or if you, especially in that one, if you add like a bathroom, that shit will work. But like, you just got to do it affordably. That's the problem. Like nowadays you can do it. Like 2020, 2021, 2022, when motherfuckers were like supply chaining everything. Supply chain. That was very hard to get things done cheaply. But like now you could kind of do anything pretty affordably. So as long as, again, that's assuming you don't have delays, assuming you pick the right people. If you could do it yourself, even better. But if you add that's where you get good value add. Yeah, it looks, that's the thing. If it's a small town, you got to just see kind of the metrics of how fast they sell, because that could kind of be your issue as well. And then if that's the case, use it to your advantage. Because if it's a slow town, small town, and it takes like fucking 1-2 months to sell, and you really want that house, offer them 120 grand. Offer them 100 grand even. They paid 90 for it in 2019. So, and that's what I'm saying. That's a good baseline. Like, you're not paying too much comparatively, considering a lot of houses in those areas either doubled or tripled. But that's in the big towns. But yeah, but like I'm saying, you have good value houses all around it. But they are a lot bigger, and there's some of them are a lot newer. But if it's gonna take a while, I would just ask them. I'm gonna say, if you're really willing to do it, tell them you need to do the bathroom and all these other things. But like I'm saying, the house needs a little bit of updating, but it's not bad. Like I'm saying, it's definitely like out of date on the kitchen, or it's like a kind of a simple counter. There's some carpets, but it looks good. It doesn't look beat up. It, like I said, charming is the word. Looks like they staged it good, or they took care of it pretty nice. NFL will not allow prediction market ads at the Super Bowl. Oh. Bet on the Super Bowl. Bet on the weather. About fixed or variable? I mean, depending on how much. I'd prefer fixed in all instances, but I mean, nowadays, the odds are slightly in your favor. It'll probably go down. But then if you're only going to save like half a basis point, I mean, it's up to you. Adidas, good earnings. Did they just come out? Is that why Nike started running up earlier? You could buy a large lot and build, but just it costs a lot of money, and it's going to take you 18 months minimum. So like even adding stuff on the farm, I still have not even got approval for shit. Because I'm just trying to set it up on paper to get things ready. Just in case either I want to build it or sell it and make it easier, but shit takes forever. Oh shit, it's already 10:20? Habibi. Townhomes? Yeah. I like townhomes. That's what I was saying. It's kind of better than a condo. I mean, obviously, if you could get a single family, it's a little bit better. But, yeah, townhomes aren't bad. Usually, though, if it's a townhome, it better be in a good-ass location. And townhomes in good locations actually do perform pretty well. Again, it offers, you get a garage. It's more like a house. You're still going to have to pay a HOA and all that other stuff, but people do prefer townhomes pretty good. And then depending on the city, like every city is different. They all kind of got their own little thing going on. Hearing about an impending housing crash. Is there any truth to this? I wouldn't call it impending. It kind of already happened. You're kind of living in the middle of it. But then again, when have you not heard about a housing crash, you know? But really what's going on is that things are just stalling out, and they have been for like a year. It just depends where you are. Some areas more than other. And that's why I'm saying, as long as you get a good deal. That's why, like, you make your money off the buy, be very diligent with the pricing, because now, even if you're getting, it's been a year already, maybe a little longer depending on the area, but you could protect yourself a little bit better, where it's like, even if it goes down another 10%, as long as you save that off the buy, you're going to get time and other stuff working for you where it shouldn't really affect you. But you have to price it good. That's why I don't think buying houses at heavy prices is a good idea. The range, well, if it's at 1.3 and you could get it at 800, that might be worth selling the cheap mortgage. But you got to verify that. I mean, if it's in Jersey, you're in a hot area. But that's what I'm saying. It might not stay 1.3. Worst case, it'll come down to $1 million. That's what happened here in California. So, like, I had a bunch of houses do that. I wanted to give the Chad one of the houses. One of the Chads wanted to move here, and I'm down to sell him a house that I own because I got it for a steal, and I put some money into it. And at one point, this house was worth like 1 million. And then I checked on it, and the thing came back down to like 900 or like 850. But it's then, the margin on it isn't as good. But that's why I was like, I'm down. But I thought it would have, I could have gave him a way better deal. I thought I was giving him a bunch of equity, but it's really not as much comparative. So you got to think about that. As long as it still works at $1 million, but can you handle the payment? That's the next question. That's a big jump. Going from $360,000 to about $900,000 payment-wise with a tripling of interest, you're gonna feel it. So as long as that's cool, though, I like the equity. But best case, you're gonna keep it for a little, cash out, $400,000 or $500,000 in equity if you kind of turn around and sell it quick. Otherwise, you're gonna end up you'll probably have to pay the payments, hold it, and then get $200K, assuming worst case. Which still isn't a bad opportunity, but if there's a way to pull it off, like I said, where you keep the first house, keep the mortgage, rent it out, get the second one, then yeah. Austin, that was the largest percent drop. Yeah, some places in Texas are trying to pick back up again. But yeah, Austin, as long as you just didn't buy too much. Devin in the Cotera. All right, Chattadoon. Well, we had a brief delay, but it's a time for philosophy. Would you guys like philosophy, or would you like real estate-osophy? Do you want to talk about ending wars? Is there anywhere? Oh, it's up to you, man. But I like philosophy. I got a good one. Oh, no. I don't know if you could handle it after you got a quick one yesterday. Enoch. I've read the book of Enoch on stream. We've even read the book of Sirach. We've had a lot of philos over the years, man. A lot of philos. Well, on that note, we're going to switch the videos, so meet us there. It should take you there. You click on the link. Free to join, free to listen. I hope it's a good time for you. Maybe you might learn something. But it's good. The market stopped moving, so I think we could, market usually likes philo. I think they were waiting on us. So I'll see you there, guys. Happy Friday, Junior. It's been a good day so far. Started a little crazy, but let's keep it rolling.